Hello and welcome to Infamous, the audio podcast. This is Brandon, or Mulus on the forum.
This is Parker. Go by Dr. Amandus Toboggan, MD on forums.
This is Jeremy. I'm still playing Elden Ring. I'm sorry.
Yeah, literally right now, I'm watching him through Discord play Elden Ring.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Surprisingly, he dies about the same amount.
I was going to say, does this change the quality and the skill
He
of
still
it?
just wanders around in random directions dying.
Yeah.
That's what the game is, yes.
Wait, no, that's what your game is. Let's be very honest. Let's be very clear.
Some people play it without dying every 4 seconds.
I've seen some people play like basically with a nude character with a weapon, and they just do fine. But
No.
No.
Nope.
Nah. All right. Moving on. Today is a pretty fun day. We are down to 931 probationary episodes for Parker.
Good job.
Whoop whoop. Although that's tanking hard soon.
Yeah, you're gonna take another hit there.
Yeah.
But we're gonna stop doing all of the saying all the words he can't say, because I think it's just giving him too much of a warning now, and so he's just gonna have to remember on his own.
Yeah.
For the last time, he's not allowed to say pineapple, blade, antiquing, or asterisk, as well as another mystery word we have not announced yet that Parker's unaware of. And he owes Jeremy 11 pizza rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Which, by the way, we've stopped carrying those at the Geekery, so you cannot buy him pizza rolls at the Geekery anymore.
Well, I was actually never planning on doing that. My first...
we noticed when you refused to pay him back.
First... I owe him pizza rolls.
Mm-hmm. How about this? Jeremy, let's do this.
Yep.
How about we set a date where he has to have given them to you by, we'll not remind him, and if he fails to do it by that date...
Okay.
Then each pizza roll is 10 probationary episodes.
Hold on.
Oh,
Was this an actual expectation that I immediately pay up in pizza rolls? Because
No,
I
no,
thought
no.
I thought it was made quite clear that I needed to. It was on demand, correct?
Yeah, it was on demand, but now we're going to set it as a set date where it has to be done by a certain date.
Okay.
Just to get it off the books, or else it'll be here forever.
Oh, well, look, guys, the fact that you didn't understand that there was a VIG rolling, like,
yeah,
the
interest has been stacking up.
It's bad. It's bad.
Yeah.
Like,
it's 100% compounded daily.
This is not a FAFSA loan. This is
no, it's not. This is bad for you.
Okay.
All right. I do have some actual announcements today. For people that are local to Kansas City and play in our store at the Geekery in Shawnee, we have 2 pieces of announcements. We have recently officially started up a Geekery Discord channel that I have been moderating. It's got a bunch of different channels in it, and even if you just want to come and hang out. Also, in the semi-near future, I'm probably going to open up the Infamous podcast Discord to the public, now that I've gotten it about the way I want it. And so keep an eye out for that. If I do it, I will post it to our Infamous Facebook page, and so you can access it that way. Also, if you ever plan on traveling to our store to play games, we are starting to get the first quantities of our store terrain finished. So we actually have official store terrain that is fully painted and ready for use. So it's not just bring your own terrain to play.
Whoop whoop.
Yeah, which has basically been me bringing 4 tables of terrain for game night.
I was going to say, this really solves your problem.
Yeah, definitely. All right, well, that's all I got for today. Parker, what do you got for us?
I got news. The long drought is over. Sweet, sweet manna from heaven pouring down upon us in the form of a black swan. We have a new model coming to this game, and we know what she's going to do. After what? Has it been like 2.5 months of not seeing a new model? Like with stats? Like no.
The grunts were the last ones we had.
Yeah.
And they came out a full month ago, and I think we got the spoilers about 2 to 3 weeks before they came out. Yeah, so it's been about 2 months.
Yeah. So here it comes. Black Swan. Hold your breath. She's pretty interesting.
Do I actually have to hold my breath?
No. If you did, you'd probably asphyxiate. So, blink and breathe. Don't hold your breath.
I like how you told me to blink.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So Black Swan. She is a 6 health
Jesus. I was like, what did I miss?
No, you did not miss. She's a 6 health. I'm sorry, it's the turn sideways card that completely throws me off. I
It's
I
weird.
can't figure it out. So she is a 6 health minion who costs 4. She moves medium. She's size 2. She has 4 physical defense, 4 energy defense, and 3 mystic defense. She has no differences on the back side and the front side. So her attacks are as such. She has a physical strike, range 2 with 5 dice, push on a wild, and she does gain power for every damage dealt. A range 3 I-beam that costs 1 power. It rolls 5 dice. Its energy, after the attack is resolved, the target character automatically has Incinerate, and it has Pierce on a wild. And then her big spender is Everything Dies. It costs 4. It has 8 dice, range 2. It is a wild throw. After this attack is resolved, the target character is thrown short. And on a hit, she has follow-up. After this attack is resolved, the character makes an I-beam attack immediately without paying the cost. The I-beam must target the original character. Ignore range and LOS. Real fast before we move on, the reason why it's called Everything Dies is not only because, it implies that she's going to kill whatever she hits. It's also a giant nod to kind of her tag phrase and the whole phrase for Hickman's run of the New Avengers and the Avengers at the end of the last Marvel universe. Because she was one of the characters that kind of heralded all this stuff happening. And so her line was, stop thinking about hope, stop considering the future, everything dies. And then Everything Dies became kind of this tagline that everybody was trying to stop this inevitable doom, even Doctor Doom, ironically. And then, of course, the tagline at the very end of all of it is Everything Lives. So this is a nod to that giant theme running through her character arc and through that part of the Marvel Universe. I love that they decided to name her Power that, because it was her motto. You guys want to talk about her attacks besides what they're called? Or do you want to move forward? A lot of her stuff is tied to her attacks.
So Everything Dies is, I think at first glance, one of the standard, big attacks in the game. But I would like to draw attention to the fact that the follow-up is on a hit.
Yeah.
So it's extremely consistent. And this makes me excited for possibly more stuff in the future that is this consistent. Because I think not every attack needs to be only on a wild. Like Thor, for example. If Thor's throw was on a hit, he'd be a lot more competitive, obviously, because it'd be much better. But I think we're in the point in the game where I think we need more of these, this is supposed to happen basically every time you do it. But it's making it guaranteed would probably be a bit too strong. So we're going to put in that very likely versus guaranteed.
Mm.
So that makes me excited.
Yeah, it costs 4, which is not nothing. It's kind of on the high average, right? Most of powers cost 3.
Well, sure, but when you pile in the fact that you're probably getting a free 1-cost attack on top of it.
Yeah, that was the next thing.
Affordable.
That's the next thing I was going to say. If you look at it at face value at first, you're like, wow, that many dice and throw on a wild for 4, that's too many. But then when you see that the follow-up is on a hit, you're like, oh, okay, well, you're getting the I-beam, and the I-beam also has Pierce.
Yeah.
So the fact that I-beam has Pierce is not nothing, too. It looks like a 5-dice attack, but it feels like a 6-die attack a lot of the time, as long as you roll that wild.
Mm-hmm. Jeremy?
I think she's kind of insane when it comes to damage output. She really is. Here's what I imagine happens with her. She runs up, does an attack, she gets dazed, and the next turn you lose your biggest model. She just nukes something off the board.
Because she'll have all the power?
Yes.
Yeah.
So she can have one turn where she just takes off whatever it is, whatever she wants to. I think she needs to be put up there so she can be dazed, gets a buttload of power, and just destroys whatever she wants to destroy.
Yeah, so there's something I'd like to talk about after we get done with her superpowers.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
But I do want to throw in here, Everything Dies is going to be one of the gold standard premium attacks in the game for a long time. Not the most consistent, but when you do all the math, if everything pays off, she can throw any sized model on a wild. She can hit the follow-up, get a free extra attack, which is already super premium. The extra attack does have to target the original target, but it ignores range and line of sight. So even if you throw them out of range 3, it doesn't matter. And then throwing the I-beam in, you're landing an automatic Incinerate and potentially a Pierce. So for probably 5 power, you can throw the I-beam, auto-incinerate, have a Pierce in there for extra credit, then follow up with everything dies, you're doing an 8 dice attack that potentially throws into somebody who's already incinerated. That is huge.
Mhm.
That is a huge maximum potential.
Yeah. She has, when you look at the 8 dice, you're like, oh, well, already that's fine. But then you're like,
Mhm.
wait a minute, you're going to get another attack and a pierce and at least 1 damage for throw, as opposed. And
Yeah.
if you throw it into another character, that's damage across their entire list.
Yeah.
Like her single activation damage potential is really huge. So.
Like, as an example, I think Cruel Twist on Scarlet Witch averages like 5 damage past defense. She's not going to probably average that, but she has a higher upside than Cruel Twist does.
Mhm.
Cruel Twist, I mean, realistically caps at 7 or 8. And that's with amazing rolls. She can do even more than that with this attack.
Yeah. And across the entire list, right? Because she's also potentially
Mhm.
throwing into something and dazing it. She's
Right.
moving things
Yeah.
off of points also, so if something doesn't go wrong. Also,
And Cruel Twist costs more than
yes,
this.
that's the next thing I was going to say. Cruel Twist cost 6.
For 8 power, can any model in the game throw 26 dice at something?
Pretty sure Punisher can do it for like 4. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa.
Let's see. Well, at least now that all you've got's gone.
I was going to say,
Yeah, no, I mean,
say,
she's legitimate 26
Winter
dice.
can Winter Soldier I think Winter Soldier can throw.
Yeah,
almost
he
as many.
does 7, 7, 4, 4, 4, 4. So he's doing 16 plus 14. He's doing 30.
And if he's doing that at range 1, he's re-rolling every time he does it. So
Yeah.
Winter Soldier rolls more.
Winter Soldier can get 30, but that's assuming you hit both rapid fires and
Mm-hmm.
you have 8 power.
Right.
But also like that's in 6 attacks, not 4.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, so it's
I think
spread
you
out
can-
more. They get 2 extra defense rolls against all of the
Yeah.
damage.
Mhm.
The consistency with this thing is insane.
Totally agree. Yeah, absolutely. 2 everything
wait.
dies is more dangerous than 2 Red Furies.
I would agree with that, but I would not say consistency is the thing, because I would say possible output. It's not consistency; it's output, right? This one is going to output a lot more.
The weight of dice.
Yes, weight of
Well,
dice.
actually,
the
let's say
number,
this: if
a
you
lot.
had 8 power to spend, and the requirement was the model must be dead at the end, I think 2 everything dies is better than 2 Red Furies.
Sure, I'll agree with
because the second set is going to be against Incinerate.
that. Mhm.
So it's the 8 dice against Incinerate and the 5 dice Pierce against Incinerate.
Also, you're
plus
adding
the first 2.
and you add 2 damage for the 2 throws if you're hitting the wilds both times.
Potentially, yeah, 2 auto damages potentially.
So let's talk about what else she could do, because that's not even everything. The attacks are so strong, but then also she's got 2 power for charge. Exactly what it sounds like. Making move actions and an attack action. She's got a very interesting new ability called Midnight Field. It's an X cost. It says when this character is defending, it may spend any number of power to use the superpower during the modify opponent's dice step of the attack. For each power spent, this character may change 1 wild in the attack roll to a blank. So functionally, she has MODOK's force field for power. So whereas MODOK always just changes wilds to blank, she turns wilds to blank for a power that she spends, and she could do any wild that they roll. She could spend any number of that much power to just turn them to blanks. She also has Telepathic Suggestion, which is a 1 power ability. When this character is attacking, it can use the superpower during the modify opponent's dice step to make them re-roll an opposing defense dice. So basically, this is Green Goblin's team ability for 1 power. It's basically the old Green Goblin ability.
Original, yeah.
She also has Flight, which is awesome with charge, and she is a Gym Bear for the Power Stone, which is why I think, which is where I think, we could talk about this, but man, she seems, in the way you described her, Jeremy, like as a 4-coster, somebody who's going to fly in there and then be really, really awesome on the rebound. I think that's true. But with the Power Stone, her kit rolls early, like very early. So I'll let you guys. I've already talked for a little bit. I want to talk all about her.
Jeremy, why don't you go ahead and tell me what you think about her powers?
Charge is the obvious one. Fine, whatever. Midnight
Charge
Field is sick. Like, that is so good. There's so many characters that get boned by not being able to use their wilds. I mean, you can put her up against things and just be like, go ahead, I don't care. You're not going to throw me.
So,
You're not going to push me.
Sure, obviously, having it for free like MODOK does is better. But the fact that she gets to see the dice rolls before spending is also huge.
So good.
Yeah, so good. Telepathic suggestion is basically the opposite of witty banter.
She just has a really cool kit, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, her kit is really neat.
Do you have a comp for her? Like, who would you compare this model to that's currently in the game?
I know.
There's an obvious parallel that I know Jeremy likes.
I'm not sure. I think she's a 4-point Scarlet Witch. Is how she feels.
She's rogue. She's just different rogue. She's a
very
flyer
similar.
with charge, above average defensive stats. She hits like a truck, and she's got utility.
Yeah, she's got interesting.
Yeah.
Rogue's kit is a little bit weird, though. I don't see
different.
her. She's not. She's not
but
as
far
offensive.
as like comparable, she's very comparable to Rogue. The problem is
okay.
she survivable enough? I think.
I think
but like you said,
stopping the wilds makes her more survivable for sure.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, do you guys think she is as good as another 5-cost model? That's actually what I've been staring at. Really want to put the Power Stone on her. I love the Power Stone.
I don't like the Power Stone on her
and
at all.
She's like, I think she's a fantastic. I mean,
Parker,
she's so strong.
You want to know where my head went to instantly when I started reading this kit?
What's that?
So you give her the Power Stone for a 5-pointer, and then you play her with Dormammu, and she's getting 4 power a turn.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
No, that's exactly what I said. The first
She's charging into double I-beam every turn. It's like, I don't even need to get close to you. Like, you have to come to me. And she just walks up and just one-shots somebody. And you're like, your turn.
Also, if she ever has just 2 or 3 power sitting on her at the end of the turn, she'll always get to Midnight Field, unless they roll really strangely. Like, she's... Like, I feel like her with Dormammu is insane. At 4 or at 5. You could do 4. You could do 5 if you wanted the power, but she's...
4 would be okay, because you could always guarantee the charge, and then just deal with the strikes. But I think the plan of I'm going to I-beam every turn of the game that I have in action is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
If she gets 12 I-beams in a 6-turn game, are you really going to say that was a loss ever? Yeah. Like, that's a win.
I feel like her with the Power Stone, she's the first 5-cost model I've actually considered putting with Daredevil, because getting a reroll with all that stuff she does just seems super dumb. She seems like one of those models that could
9 points for that package does not seem overly terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, rerolls are good, but at that point, I would just put her with Green Goblin and just double up with the reroll.
The problem is, like we've said before, if the game is feeling like you need to be playing either 5 model plus or 3 amazing models, so Black Swan needs to be doing something really stupendous, so something like Dormammu, or she needs to be playing in a list that can afford her, and that's what the problem I've been staring at is. My first thought was actually Guardians. The Power Stone.
I could definitely see Guardians. Rerolls on here with a cheap supporting cast. Definitely see it.
And she also charges, which is the thing they don't do, right? They're not mobile. So her current competitor in Guardians at 5 points would be Ghost Rider, but it does automatically make your Star-Lord a 3-cost, because if you're giving her the Power Stone, Star-Lord can't have it. So
don't you mean Ronin with the Power Stone? Right. That's her 5-point competition.
Jesus, no! Like, it's so like, isn't that terrible that Ronin?
They have 3 Power Stone characters.
Yeah, isn't it terrible that Ronin is now like on the same level as this bitch? Like, it's crazy.
Well, before you say that as a joke, they're actually because obviously she's going to be in Black Order, right? Like, that's beyond a given. So, she basically gets Ronin's ability with was it Blood Despair? Blood Despair, right? Let me double check.
The one
I'm saying this.
What?
Blood Despair is a tactics card for Black Order. It says when a Black Order character would be dazed by enemy effects, spend 3 power.
Oh, right.
The character immediately performs an attack before getting the daze token. Then if it still has hit points remaining, it is not dazed. Mm-hmm. So we haven't had a character have the healing ability yet, so it hasn't mattered. But she basically is just Ronin in Black Order, except obviously better. Mm-hmm. But like, she has the important ability that Ronin has.
Yeah, I think
if you take that tactics card,
right? I think in Guardians she's going to feel really good. I think I really want to put her down in Guardians because I want to see how she does at 5 points in Guardians. I also think she could feel really good in Dark Dimension, even at 4 or 3. sorry, 4 or 5. But
Mhm.
basically anybody that can give her more power or more dice mod. Because the one thing I think that she's going to feel like is if you spend 5 points on her, even if you spend 4 points on her, you really, really need those 2 attacks a turn to pop up with those wilds. And
Mhm.
if you don't have them pop up with the wilds, she can feel like a real meh real fast because she's not fixing her own dice anyway. She's just rolling regular d8s, and if they pop up with the thing she wants, it's helping. It's going crazy. But noticeably, she only messes with opponents' dice ever. So if she does get the pierce and she telepathically suggests, you could immediately, if they roll 2 blocks, you're just like, okay, well, that one's now a blank, and re-roll that one. And you're like, well, shit. Like, but if she
No,
don't,
the Midnight Field only works on defense.
no, I said the telepathic suggestion.
Oh, and what else? Oh, in the
And
Pierce. I see.
Yeah.
I see. I misheard you.
Yeah, so if she pierces and telepathically
Gotcha.
suggests, that's just a again, your opponent loses the 2 defense dice they rolled. Again,
Yeah.
but at the same time, if you only rolled 3 hits, like you spent 5 points because you rolled 3
you
hits.
say that 3 damage is a very successful attack in this game.
I'm not saying it's terrible, but is it worth 5 points when you also have things like MODOK that can just do more damage and just move you around, or Ghost Rider, who is doing passive damage all the time and punishing your power. And there's a lot of if you're spending 5 points on her, because that's the first thing I wanted to do was put a Power Stone on her.
Yeah, I think there's definitely going to need to be some testing there to determine if she's worth 5 points or if she's only worth 4 points.
Would you like to know my hot take for our podcast in her?
What's that?
I think Jeremy's going to play her and instantly hate her.
Ooh, that's a hot take. Jeremy, do you have anything to say about this?
Against her or with her? What do you mean?
With her. I think you're going to play her one day, and then you're going to instantly hate her because she's going to go 4 rounds and never see a wild. And
you're like, this character's trash.
And you're just going to be like, she can't throw anything. She can't do anything. She can't do automatic damage. She's just dice. Because that's all she is she's just dice.
That's correct. And that's why I hate the fact that she can be a 5-point model. I think for a 4-point model, she's stellar because her output is really, really high for a 4. But once you give her a little bit more power and stuff, I don't see that helping. Because all these super turns generally happen once per game. If they happen twice, you're probably winning anyway. But she, like I say, she reminds me of Scarlet Witch. Like, she's got a shitload of output, and she's 4 points instead of 5. I don't think the comparison to Rogue, like, Rogue has a throw she just buys and throws. Rogue can point at you and take your fucking power away. Like, she's kind of ridiculous, too,
she can
in a
point at you
different
and
way.
roll dice. That's the same thing Black Swan does.
But she also throws. Black Swan only throws on a wild on her spenders.
It's true.
And it costs 4 for her to do that. I just think they're a little bit different. I see her, she seems very, like, again, she's this very strong 4-point aggressive model, which is really cool.
Rogue has the spender throw, which is great. Or the superpower throw, which is great. But it's not like she's, like, dominating the board with board control or anything. Like, yeah, obviously being able to throw size 4s is huge. It's a big deal. But realistically, if all Rogue ever does is do her throw, she's failing. Like, she needs to also do some damage, yeah. Mm-hmm. The big thing is that she has damage reduction, so she can take a hit and not roll good defense and be okay still. The problem is Black Swan does that through dice manipulation, which is questionable. Like, if it holds up, it's going to be great. If it doesn't, she's going to die real fast. 12 hit points is not nothing, but yeah, she probably gets 1 or 2 less defense per game than Rogue does. Mm-hmm. Actually, with the dice mods, it might be the same. She might get the same number of defense.
The problem is she has to spend power to do it, and Rogue doesn't. But
sure, but I would argue that she needs to spend less power to do her job than Rogue needs to do hers. Like, Rogue spends power like it's, like, fucking leaking out of her pockets.
Yeah. She can puke out any number.
Yeah. Black Swan doesn't have to spend a bunch of power. Like, she wants to charge sometimes. She wants to... Everything dies when it's applicable, but, like, if she just spends 2 to I-beam twice, that's probably a fine turn. And like we said, like she's a big bucket of damage, so like everyone's gonna be trying to kill her, I think. So she's gonna be taking damage. The only question is, and that's why I like that her Midnight Field is after you see the dice, because you can seem like, all right, well, I'm already dead, so I'm not going to spend. That way you have maximum potential for the next turn. And I would say that, exploiting priority against her is going to be a big problem, but given that she's a 4/5 point model and that she's in the Black Order faction, that might be the other person's problem.
Okay, well, here's the last thing I wanted to mention about that, because you brought up Black Order and the point levels. I was a little surprised that she was a 4 and a 5, not because of how they designed her. I think she's absolutely, as written, a 4 or a 5. But putting another 4 or 5 into Black Order, I was really like, oh, man. Of course, there are more options now to play a non-Thanos Black Order. I guess you could do that. But that's kind of what she is, I think, in Black Order. My question for you guys is there a world in which she is taken before Corvus Glaive? I think there's a world that she's taken before
I think if
Dwarf.
Under the assumption that the Black Order list as presently constituted of Corvus, Proxima, and Thanos is not getting changed in some way, I think there's very small chance Black Swan replaces Corvus. Now, I think what we're going to end up seeing is an evolution of the Black Order list that is more flexible. And I think the first of the Black Order is going to be a big stand for that, because we're theorizing that it might be a floating leadership card that kind of like the Convocation has.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's what it ends up being, and anyone can be a pseudo leader for Black Order, that's going to be absolutely huge, and that will shake up the faction a lot.
Yeah.
So the one thing I did want to talk about is being able to script her turns. So, like, for example, giving the power gem to her, I think, is absolutely huge, because that means on the first turn you can charge and I-beam and potentially also strike. It's questionable, because if you don't take the Power Stone, you could advance an I-beam theoretically, which is about the same as you're doing with the Power Stone, unless you just don't do anything on turn 1 and you camp the 3 power. Turn 2 with the Power Stone, you're up to 6 if you haven't been attacked. And 6 power on her is really scary, because you could potentially charge, everything dies, and strike somebody else. Right? Like, that's a huge spike of damage on turn 2, if you don't end up spending any on turn 1. And then if you end up having, like, Dormammu, and you have 8 power on turn 2, boy, you could do fucking almost anything.
Yeah.
So, that's the really scary bit, because then you're charging, everything dies, double telepathic suggestion. Oh man, you're just tearing through somebody.
That's one of the reasons why I want to do Power Stone, is I love having the initiative in this game. I hate having to wait to get to do my thing I want to do.
Yeah.
Man, I struggle with it.
Yeah, so I like her because she's surprisingly flexible for what appears to be just basically a melee range beat stick. I'm pretty excited. This looks like a fun model to play with.
Yeah.
So, Parker, you're more of the lore guy than any of us.
Mm-hmm.
What I would like to start doing is, when we get a panel to play for a new character, is I would like to start doing a bet every time we get a model. I want you to predict what affiliations they're going to be part of, and we'll just bet some episodes on it, right?
Okay.
So, obviously she's in the Black Order.
Yep.
Are there any other affiliations that you'd like to bet on her being in? Or would you like to simply bet that she's only in Black Order?
I would like to bet that she's only in Black Order.
What a scrub. I asked Pagani earlier, and he already told me. You're going to lose. How many episodes would you like to bet?
25.
Baby numbers.
If she's in any other... That's the thing about this game, though. Like, you say out lore
could be fucking anything.
Yeah,
right?
They put fucking Deadpool in the Avengers, because, he's that one of those hardcore, he's one of the, it was the original Avengers, right? It was Giant Man, Thor, Captain America, Cable, and Deadpool. Those were the original founding members of Avengers. Just like, this game is so fucking dumb and weird. Like, some of the stuff...
He's just a trainee.
Some of the stuff makes so much sense, like in lore, I think it's commendable. Like Quicksilver being part of the Inhumans. Like, that's such a weird thing that they did that, but it is
like,
something
on face value, nobody understands it.
Right, but it is something he does a lot, actually, in the comics. He's really close partners with the Inhumans, so sure. Like, that makes perfect sense. Or Beast being part of the Inhumans, the same difference. Just like, yes, he is, like, really good friends with the Inhuman royal family. And, like, okay, cool, like, that makes perfect sense. And then, again, what the fuck? Like, why is Cassandra Nova in Cabal? It makes no sense. Like, what has she ever had to do at all with any member of Cabal? It makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
Yeah. All right, so we got 25 episodes on Black Swan is only going to be in Black Order. All right, so that's going to take us into playing currently. Jeremy, what are you working on right now?
I'm still doing Brotherhood. I am actually interested in what's her name's leadership in Brotherhood, Mystique.
The Freedom Force.
Mm-hmm. She's been pretty fun. I played her more games than I thought I would, but yeah, just Brotherhood. I just keep playing Brotherhood. They've got big models and medium-sized models, and they kind of got a good mix. They have good cards. They're pretty solid.
No, I have a lot of fun with Brotherhood for that same reason. I feel like they just feel like a complete faction to me now.
Mm-hmm.
It's like they got all the tools I want to play with.
Yep.
Including the go wide list with Mystique. That has gotten a huge bump with the new releases. Parker, what you got?
So I was kind of in a lull until I got my hands on the new MCP app for iOS, and so I just started plugging away at that. And while I was gleaming the cube one day, I realized that I could do something weird in Cabal, and so basically I combined two things that I've never done before. I'm going to play Cabal to play Cassandra Nova and Mr. Sinister, because I've wanted to play Mr. Sinister for a long time, and I don't know if I'm going to play them together at the same time, but I wanted to play Mr. Sinister for a long time, and I think I've been waiting for the 3-cost model that I really, really want him to summon. But somebody who would make me feel like I'm so glad I worked so hard and spent tactics cards and a whole strategy to make sure I got to summon something. And I think that someone is X-23 because she's just so punishing. So is getting an X-23 on turn 3 absolutely amazing, or is it too late and she should just be played, already? Just put her down at the beginning of the game. That's the idea.
Yeah, I don't know that it's too late. Because it's pretty hard to get her off the table at that point.
Right.
But mostly that it's because she kind of has that combo with Honey Badger. I don't know if, do you take Honey Badger then?
Honey Badger's in the list right now, and I think you can. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I guess if because Honey Badger's also usually alive on turn 3.
Well, what I was actually going to say is the funny part is if you summon Honey Badger and just start with X-23.
You could also do that. Yeah.
Because you can just drop down a intimidating presence model in the middle of their army with power on it.
Right.
And so you could pseudo steal priority from them with that effect.
Yes.
Like they're trying to kill X-23. It's like, oh, surprise, here's Honey Badger. You're like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like,
basically, I was thinking about what we said the other day also about, having, the number 4 being a bad number. I was like, what if we could do more or less than that? So right now the list is kind of strange. It's got a bunch of 2 costs in it, a couple 3s, and a couple 4s, and just Cassandra Nova is the only one above 4. And it's with Red Skull, and I'm stared at it for a little while, and I think I just want to try it and see if it's just a gimmick, or if putting down X-23 on turn 3, or like you said, Honey Badger on turn 3, maybe even turn 2.
No, it's turn 3. You have to spend double, so you have to spend 4. You can't have 4 tokens on turn 2.
Couldn't you if you moved once and beamed once?
It's in the cleanup phase.
So you do the card. You do the
summon
tactics.
them you put them on it in the cleanup. You summon them in the power phase.
But don't you? So you spin.
Sure.
You do the tactics card that says do 1 damage to all your friends, and that gives him 3. And then he would move up, beam somebody on the center point, and have 1 more token. That's 4. And then.
Oh yeah. So your plan is to have 4 tokens on Sinister?
Yeah.
In the cleanup phase? Interesting. Let me know how that goes for you.
I'm really confused. Why is this not working?
You can only have 3. Or else you would just stack up infinite tokens.
Now I understand because that's when they go onto the card.
3, yeah.
That's I'm sorry.
So,
I forgot he's capped. Yeah, he's not an infinite well. It's the card holds the tokens.
He's the catch.
I'm sorry.
Because he'd be completely busted if he could have more than 3 tokens. Dear God. You just line up 4 people, it's like double beam, I have a DR8.
Right.
And you're like, fuck off. Like, that guy's never going away.
Yeah, this shows you how many
he
times.
He has an AoE 5 fucking detonation he could do. Oh my God.
Right. So I wasn't even considering him having that many tokens because I wasn't even thinking that was something he could do. Because
yeah,
it's
you're
not.
thinking like you transfer them instantly, and so
Right.
it doesn't matter how many he has at any one time.
Right.
Yeah, you can't or else you could just summon like a 5-pointer on turn 3.
Right.
Because you would put 5 tokens on it potentially after one turn if you took like Lockjaw.
Right.
Yeah, you would just play like Dark Dimension Mr. Sinister and it would be fucking bonkers.
Right. So the idea is I'm playing a lot of Regenerators and also Hood. And it's the trick is Cabal with extra health, extra dudes, and it just kills things. I think the same as Cabal always does. So I'm seeing if it actually tilts really hard, or if I should just be playing Daredevil and making sure my dice are great. So we'll see.
That's kind of interesting, actually. Have you considered playing Mr. Sinister in Dark Dimension?
No, but you absolutely could.
Because he gets the extra power he needs, and he can damage reduction the damage from Dormammu.
And summon a 3-coster pretty fast.
He has mind control. He can summon a 3-coster. You can resurrect his summons. Like, you can do all kinds of weird shit.
Yeah.
That actually sounds kind of fun.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I think Mr. Sinister was one of those models who came out a long time ago before the game was very deep, and now that the game has gotten deeper, people have still forgotten about him.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to put him back down. I think Red Skull, there's a bunch of things in Cabal right now that people are like, oh, you mean Mordo, Hood, Sinister, Red Skull? Like, these are all models that have gotten really good as other models have come out, and they're all in Cabal.
Yeah.
So
Sinister is always going to be one of those legacy models you go back to because he does something completely unique, and I doubt anyone else will ever have the ability to summon a model off your roster like he does. So anyway, I am playing what I have, recently dubbed the Bad Order, which is basically you just take all of the Black Order models and then some other stuff. So I'm playing all 5 of the current Black Order models, and then I'll probably add some of the new ones when they come out. And then I've thrown in, let's see if I can recall it. It's Hulkbuster, Ghost Spider. What's my 2-pointer? Trying to remember now. Toad, Black Panther, and it was another 3. Jeremy, do you remember what it was?
I have no idea.
I want to say it was an Avenger. It might have just been regular Iron Man. I can't remember. Oh, no, it was Shuri. That was right. It was Shuri. And so it's basically just a hodgepodge list that can either technically play in Avengers, but more than likely going to be in Black Order. The main reason is I just want to try like max board control, and I didn't want to play only Web Warriors again because I've played a lot of Web Warriors, and I liked the list I threw together at the tournament that was like a screw around list. So so I'm basically trying to extrapolate upon that and see if there's something there that's not just a troll fest. And so I'm excited to play that tomorrow. So that's going to be it for currently playing. We're going to move on to our main topic. Our main topic today is the best mercenary for each affiliation. So we're going to go to the affiliations page on AMG, and we'll just work down the list. So obviously the first affiliation is going to be A-Force. So for A-Force, what is your guys' favorite mercenary? And by mercenary, we mean just a character that is not affiliated with said affiliation, is not a rogue agent, but you like to drop in and with good synergy with the models that tend to get taken as like the core group. So obviously like the leaders of the affiliation and their kind of core members.
Mine's gonna. Oh, can I go? I didn't realize I didn't know.
Yeah, you can go first.
So mine's gonna be, I think, a recurring theme for a lot of things, but I think actually it's Hood, and the reason I like Hood is he is a little power starved. He doesn't need a ton of power because if he can sit there and do his rapid fire thing, he'll have enough. But if he needs to move once, he won't get to do things like heal or uses, maybe use chain lightning or something like that. He loves to have a little bit of power to use his cloak. I think if he's standing next to She-Hulk, he's going to not only get his power, but he's also just going to be able to stand there, and he's so difficult to remove, and he's healing She-Hulk. If you give She-Hulk 6 extra health over the course of the game, that's amazing. That's just amazing.
That's cool.
So I think She-Hulk with 6 extra health and a model that you don't mind in A-Force at all, because you don't need to give him a ton of power, just maybe 1 or 2. Is great.
Yeah.
Oh, also Hood's gang lets you reroll in A-Force.
Yeah, Hood's gang lets you reroll everywhere. That is cool. Jeremy, do you have a preferred random drop-in model for A-Force?
Can I say Thanos every time? Does that work?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, it does not.
Damn it. I'm kind of glad.
Thanos would be good in A-Force, but that's 14 points. I don't know if you have. I mean, what's the rest of the list?
Yeah.
Juggernaut.
At that point, like, yeah, he likes having more power, but I think he'd be better off in Avengers.
Just can't. Yeah, it's so A-Force is one that honestly I've never played personally.
Really? Okay.
No, so I really don't have a good drop in aside from things that you want a super bodyguard on, which is X-23 A-Force. She is, right?
No. She's only
then
X-Force.
I would say she's
and
awesome
X-Men.
for them.
Okay. X-23 is definitely a good drop in. For me, it's going to be the original Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange having infinite power is pretty awesome because you can shield up everybody who already has generally pretty good defensive stats. He also brings a ton of board control to a generally run downhill faction. I like him in here. There's a lot of good options, though. I even used to look at Black Dwarf a lot, because if Black Dwarf has power, he's terrifying. Mm-hmm. And you can kind of run She-Hulk and Black Dwarf down the middle, and nobody can really fight you. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of... I like a model like Black Dwarf, too, because then it's not so obvious. When you have She-Hulk and then something that she's protecting, you're like, okay, we'll kill She-Hulk, sure. But when it's Black Dwarf and She-Hulk, you're like, Jesus, if I kill She-Hulk, then...
Yeah. The best thing about Black Dwarf is, like, you start getting towards the end of the game, and Black Dwarf starts taking all the hits. Mm-hmm. And they're like, this is annoying, because you have a large base with Taunt, just pulling in all the attacks on the important middle, and they can't get important attacks on She-Hulk when they actually have to kill her.
Right.
Yeah.
This is kind of a meme one, but it is funny, and fun is Ghost Rider in A-Force, because you just, every time you get attacked, I would like 2 power. You're like, okay, I'll attack this model. Then I will also gain 2 power. You're like, Jesus Christ.
That would be interesting, too. It feels like overkill.
It's a meme, but it is.
Unfortunately, I think the answer is probably closer, like what you said with Hood.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think any board control you add to them is also important. Honestly, Peter Parker would be amazing. The original.
Yeah, that would be
4-point Spider-Man would be amazing in A-Force.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Wong would actually be really good as well.
I used to think that too. I tried it. You just don't. It's just not enough. Because his things cost actions, and so he can't just like heal everybody. But yeah, you do need cheap models to offset. The problem is like Okoye and Black Widow are in factions. You have 2 affiliated too, so Wong doesn't make the list very often either. But yeah, anyone works well in A-Force. These are just our favorites. So we had Hood. I did original Doctor Strange, and Jeremy said I don't play A-Force. So there you go, misogyny at work. Moving on, we have Asgard. Parker, who's your favorite drop-in on Asgard?
It used to actually be, it used to be Sabretooth or Wolverine, kind of like a tie, like what you wanted. But now I think it's X-23 because she's just cheaper. I love the heal and the leadership ability, but it goes really hard if you can do it. Like, could you imagine X-23 healing 3 every turn? Like, if you don't kill her, she's just back to full every time.
I don't think that's relevant at all.
You don't think so?
Yeah. The fact that she already heals 2 is completely irrelevant. The fact that she's in a very efficient work piece for 3 points is very relevant because, that's the thing they're desperately missing at this point. Valkyrie used to be that workhorse for them. She's really not anymore. She's just good. And so they really need another paired 3-pointer to go with her, which hopefully they're getting with, Scourge.
But I also used to love... the other thing is the exceptional healing plus the Asgard card. What's the one that's... Odin's Blessing? Is that the name
Odin's
of it?
Blessing.
Yeah. So, like, having 2 cards that say I'm going to take 1 damage is just so ball-busting.
Yeah, that is cute. Jeremy, do you have a favorite?
Well, because of Thor and his dice reliance, I like Shuri with them. Being able to push some stuff around. Yeah.
That's fair.
You need to get some reroll. There just isn't any in Asgard. They just kind of drop dice and stare at them.
Shuri's also good for the a lot of Asgard players tend to go for the flip scenario play, and so she plays really well into that because she punishes people for trying to beat up on you because she doesn't do enough damage to really give people enough power, but she does move them, which is really annoying.
Also, almost everything in Asgard charges, and she's great to just sit on the back point. Like she's perfectly comfy sitting on the back point.
Range 5 attacker.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually really like that call, Jeremy. I really like that call.
Thank you.
For me, I'm actually going to go with something that is super terrible and is never going to get actually done again. But my favorite in the past has been Hulk. Because it's not about the healing, it's about the removing negative effects from Hulk, which is super relevant because he never gets dazed, so he never gets to shake, and his actions are so premium. Also, you can just have super Pound Town when you've got Thor and Hulk hanging out together, and you can use either Loki or Enchantress or Thor's throw to feed Hulk as well, or vice versa, Hulk to feed Thor, so he doesn't have to spend for Asgard if he doesn't want to. It's not super great because it's 11 points for 2 models just to get the leader and Hulk, and then you need another Asgardian, and then if you go to 4 models, you need another Asgardian to break the tie again. So that it's not ideal, but that's just what I've had fun with in the past. I don't think Asgard is realistically competitive list anymore. I think if you're going to play Asgard, you should just play X-Men instead.
I think Jeremy just broke the code. I think it's just Shuri, and it fixes all the problems. The end.
Well, yeah, that's what everyone played because they came out right after Shuri came out.
Yeah.
Like that was the meta right before you started playing.
Yeah, that's why I missed that.
Yeah, it was basically Asgard and Web Warriors for like 3 months because everyone was playing Gwen and original Spider-Man with like Loki and Thor, and you just had like all the fucking board control that you could ever want. And then Thanos came out, and then people stopped playing it. So moving on, we have Avengers.
Okay.
Parker, who is your favorite drop-in Avengers?
I think it's easier. When I was trying to sort this, I was like, I think it's easier to sort, who is not in the Avengers than who is in the Avengers, and doing the opposite. I actually think after seeing it so many times, and I know this is going to be a cop-out because so many people have noticed this too, but I think Loki with Mind Stone in the Avengers is just so fucking wonderful. It does
really annoying.
It does exactly what you want him to do, which is always run his kit always. Never ever, like he never has to choose to not run his kit. It's just always on. It feels and also because he only has the 5 health. If anybody does have the really big swing or the really big hit, well, Cap takes it that time, and you don't get crits if he's on his backside. It feels wonderful, from the Loki side, and terrible from the other side. Loki with Mind Stone, I think.
Jeremy, you can go ahead and say it now.
Look, I know you said I couldn't say it, but I'm going to say it. Thanos with cheap shit will make you want to quit the game. He will make you want to quit the game under Steve's leadership. It's really good.
Death Decree costing 1 with someone like Hawkeye is just not fair. Throwing a 9 dice attack from out of line of sight and then placing range 3 away is just not okay. And you get to choose the damage type. Like, Repulsor Blast. Like, can you imagine the Unibeam hit with Death Decree?
Yeah.
Can you imagine? It's so
Iron Man
dumb.
Is awful. Iron Man is awful with that combo.
It's so dumb. Oh, and by the way, you can Helios Laser and Death Decree for 1.
Yep. All of that.
Like, Death Decree is really the problem with Avengers. It's not even Cosmic Portal, because you'll just kill them.
No, it's Death Decree. Death Decree being on
Death
the
Decree is the problem specifically in Avengers. Crazy. It's nuts. I was not a believer until I saw it happen. I was like, this is busted.
Yeah.
It does. It makes you just want to well, this game is over.
It's so infuriating. Yeah, because you just take all the cheap guys, and whoever you daze murders your team, and then you kill them, and then the rest of their team still murders your team. It's so dumb. Yeah. Every single turn, somebody's making a +2 die attack. Ugh, it's so dumb. I want to say original Doctor Strange, but that was my opinion when the Time Stone was gaining extra action, because he could Time Stone for 1 and still +2 dice people for 1. And so that was insane. But now that he doesn't get the extra action, I think I have to go with Thanos. Thanos is just too fucking crazy in Avengers. That the leadership on him is just too good. It's absolutely unparalleled. It's probably the best combo in the whole game. Moving on, we have Black Order.
Real fast, I was just curious about the Thanos in Avengers. Can you
Yep.
even fathom in a not 8-point Thanos?
I cannot even.
Is it? But I mean, if you love in Avengers specifically, I know in every other case, he's an 8-point model, but in Avengers specifically, could he be a 7 or a 6-point model because you love? It's not the stones you're valuing, but Death's Decree. Is that something that?
He is going to be an 8-point model. The only question is, do you still take Space Stone or do you take Power Stone? That's the only question.
Space Stone, Power Stone, or Reality Stone is also fine. You
could also do Reality Power Stone would actually be terrifying in Avengers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you would do against it. I mean, Space and Mind are fucking crazy good, but holy shit. 4 power return Thanos with the Reality Stone. I don't know how you beat it.
It's really rough.
I mean, at that point, you just have to kill the rest of his list and just hope that he can't do it alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah, I think you still do Mind and Space Stone, but either of the other two are fine options.
Interesting.
You're just not taking Time or I can't remember that. Soul. Yeah, you're not taking Soul would actually be okay. I don't recommend it, but you could take it.
So this is, and you're usually putting Thanos down in like, what is that, 16 plus or 17 plus, so you can actually have 2 other models.
No, because you're taking Cap and probably Iron Man as your first 2 Avengers, and so 15 plus, I would say.
Oh, that's all. You just need an Iron Man, and then he's fine.
You need any 3-point Avenger, so pick one of the 15, and then you have to have Cap.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it doesn't matter. You have the best 15-point list. Because you have Cosmic Portal on crack plus Mind Stone plus Space Stone with Steve and Iron Man. How is that bad?
Yeah. Like,
you will out-control every tall list you play against, which has like a small amount of models. You'll out-control them. And any go-wide list, you'll out-attrition. So the only way you lose is if they out-scenario you. And by the way, I don't know if you remember, but you have a day unlike any other Thanos. They're not going to out-scenario you.
You also get to use Avengers Assemble, by the way. So what
you have
we
the
need
best
to do,
counter control card in the game and the best controller in the game. It's stupid.
We need to.
You heard it here on podcast.
Whenever
Don't
we
play
started
anything else. We figured it
clip
out.
Where we started. Put in what we're going to talk about now, which is the actual answer. ...
Thanos.
We're not allowed to. God damn it! Stop it. I don't want to play against Thanos anymore.
Let's move on to Black Order. So Black Order is interesting because they so rarely ever have another model in their list. I have an honorable mention that I've seen people do a lot that I understand the reasoning behind, but I don't know that I could do. So Parker, do you have one? I don't know if you've ever played Pure Black Order.
I have played Pure Black Order, but it's always been mixed with another faction, right? It's 3 Black Order models.
Yeah, you do. Black Order is the drop-in. Yeah. You're not really dropping things into Black Order.
Yeah.
Right? It's weird.
Yeah, this is odd. Like, I've never even stopped to consider. I guess I'm actually going to go with something that... I'm lying. I have considered it once before, and I think it was actually Shuri, because the rerolls are the one thing they don't have.
Okay.
And I think...
I will definitely accept Shuri. That is definitely a reasonable choice.
Also, they have a lot of
yet more board
stuff.
Control and dice mod.
Right. Yeah. Also, they're kind of like the Asgard. They have a lot of in-your-face models, and they don't really have a model that's super comfortable hanging way back and being cool with that. So, I think
Jeremy, do you have a choice?
The correct answer is during the days of 17-point Black Order, Baron Zemo. However, it's 16 points now, so that's Black Panther. Done. Wrap it up.
Oh, as your 20-point drop is what you mean.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. I like both of those options. Those are both solid options. I would like to give you an alternative to something I've seen a lot of people do. This is not my pick. This is just what I've seen a lot of people do.
Double
Iron
Thanos?
Fist.
Oh.
No, it's Iron Fist. Because you're literally just playing the lottery that you can activate Thanos one turn of the game and you win. If it ever happens, you win the game. And so what ends up happening is Thanos has to activate at some point in the turn just to deal with Iron Fist, which throws a wrench into his plan anyway. Because if Iron Fist ever potentially is able to get 8 power and attack Thanos, the game ends. Because your Thanos gets to go and theirs doesn't. Which just completely ruins the board state. The my personal favorite, which is I'm going to put in here, is Punisher. And because Death Decreeing aim shots is cute, because you get a silly amount of dice. But also Blood Red and Personal is a cute interaction if you're going for random cheeky wins. Because you get 2 victory points per KO for 1 turn of the game. So you just wait for it to be about to happen, and it's 2 victory points for 1 tactics card, which is pretty cute.
That is pretty cool. I like that.
The legally not acceptable answer that I want to say is Dormammu, but that's not legally acceptable because it becomes a Dark Dimension list, which isn't fair. It should count, though. All right, moving on. We have Brotherhood of Mutants. Best affiliation. Parker, who's the best merc for the best?
For Brotherhood?
The best for the best for the best.
Oh, man, it's so hard because they love their models.
Yeah, they love their model. That's what I love about them. You don't need to mix stuff.
Yeah, they don't. They have every kind of like variety they want. I guess
you can pass. We can come back to you.
No, I think I would actually put maybe. I know somebody just said this, but I think I like Zemo, because I think like. Again, the kind of generic dice mod, they do kind of bunch up a bit. Like usually when you're playing Brotherhood, it's kind of like a ball of terror. And I think he just goes into that ball, and everybody's so scary. Are people going to stop to kill Baron Zemo when you've got these other monsters bearing down on you? I guess maybe Magneto and Juggernaut are too scary, so they just kill Zemo. I don't know. This is a tough one.
It is odd. It's weird because they're so like fleshed out now. Like, I intentionally built a roster that only had Brotherhood characters in it.
And you probably never felt like, oh man, if I only had Zemo.
No, it was fine. There was like, if I had like Shuri, Black Cat, and Doc Voodoo, this list would be better, but it was totally fine. That was the list I took to Adepticon. I played, what's his name? Ominous.
Yeah, it's hard to... Because I've only played them a couple times, and they were mixed with a bunch of Cabal stuff. This is
Jeremy, you're playing Brotherhood right now. I assume you're not running 10 Brotherhood models.
Gosh, I think I'm very close to doing that.
It's close. It's usually like 7 or 8.
Yeah. I'm trying to imagine what you need with that list. I think Wong is really good to keep Magneto doing the things he wants. Aside from that, they don't need anything. I mean, I really don't think they care.
All right, you're both wrong. And Parker's going to shit himself. But it's obviously Hood.
Yeah, I considered it.
You even said that you were going to, say Hood every time.
Yeah.
No, Hood is the best mercenary by far for Brotherhood, in my opinion. Primarily because you've got the healing for 3 or, if not 4 or 5 of their big characters. Even 6. It's really good on Sabretooth. It's really good on Rogue. It's amazing on Juggernaut. It's amazing on Magneto. And it's good on Colossus. I only say it's good on Colossus. Colossus is not good in Brotherhood. But if you're playing Colossus, it's amazing. Because he's immune to bleed, and he's a big health character.
Also, he gives the whole faction... Hood's gang is probably strong for them. Because Hood's
gang is a great way to get more attacks. It's a good 3-pointer. He's efficient. He's got small attacks. He's basically just Mystique without deception. But if you're doing the go wide list, he's amazing in the go wide list because Hood's gang is amazing with the go wides.
Yeah.
Hood is 100% the best in my opinion.
Yeah.
I've played it multiple times, and I was reaching for Hood before Quicksilver, before Mystique. He is insane in Brotherhood.
Yeah,
Hood feels great on my list. Now that you say that,
he's so good, so good. If you haven't tried him on the table, you got to try it. It's crazy. It's so funny when you heal Juggernaut, because then Juggernaut just spends a power to prevent the bleed damage. So you just don't care. It's so dumb.
I will actually go back to my Avengers, and I will say Hood is also good because you love Hood in Sam Avengers, and you love Hood in Hulkbuster. Because if you thought doing -2 with DR and the Hulkbuster affiliation is funny, just wait till you're -3, and they throw...
It's never gonna matter.
I know, but I'm just saying, it's a thing he can do.
Yeah,
But it's also, he's just a cheap model, and he heals your big-ass Avengers. It's the same thing for Brotherhood, only he does it for cheaper in Avengers.
Yeah.
It's super good.
So, we haven't had a duplicate yet, right? Other than Thanos Avengers, which is just obvious.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so moving on, we got Cabal. Parker, who is your favorite non-affiliated Cabal member? Can't say Sinister, he's affiliated.
I know, that's the thing is, I played a lot of Cabal, but what if I put in Cabal that I was... Cabal to me actually feels a lot like, it's kind of weird because they have a lot more models than Brotherhood, so of course they should feel like they have a lot of stuff, but they also have a lot of like dud models.
They have a lot of bad models.
Yeah. But do I ever like, man, I really need this for Cabal?
What about Punisher?
Oh, I'm actually going to say yes, I would totally agree with Punisher, but I'm actually going to go for Winter Soldier instead, because I think Winter Soldier is, because I think he does, he just does it a little bit further away. A lot of their guys are like mid-range or close up, and he likes it.
You know, you can't pick rogue agents.
What, I can't?
No, we said at the beginning you can't pick rogue agents because they're effectively affiliated.
Oh.
Like, they're supposed to be the drop-ins. Like, that's not fair.
Gotcha.
You gotta go outside the box.
Gotcha.
You could just say Punisher then.
Yeah.
Because they are very similar.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, I almost want to try like all of the shoot 'em up guys.
Oh, you know what? I actually, I'm gonna go back on this. I'm actually gonna say Domino. I actually think Domino is a really great drop into Cabal.
Domino's really good
in Cabal. I think she feels good in Sin, and she feels great in Red Skull, I think.
Jeremy, do you have a choice for Cabal?
Vision's really good. I like Vision as a drop in. He gets 1 million power from one beam, and then he can pretty much use it.
That's true. I never thought about Vision.
Yeah, he gets to pull his throws, and he can switch forms, and he's got all kinds of cool stuff he can do. And he can set off his super ass fucking attack, which is just basically you daze a model or KO them.
Yeah, Synthesoid Avenger is hugely underrated. It's almost Cruel Twist. It is Cruel Twist. He just doesn't get to count skulls.
Yeah.
He just doesn't get to use skulls.
Yeah, so it's a 4-point Cabal, I think, is really legit.
Another beam model that could beam multiple times in a kind of a strange way. We have a lot of shit, but maybe Crystal in Cabal could actually not be too bad, because she's actually getting to double tap her beam a bunch.
She doesn't have any good way to spend her power is the problem.
Yes, she does. She double taps. She does a second attack.
Yeah, but that's it.
She spends 4.
Yeah.
She always gets 4 anyway.
Not every turn, but yeah, and I see what you're saying. She's going to get to do it the majority of the turns.
Yeah, but she also gets...
So it's like...
Good. I was just thinking of other beam characters that are efficient beam characters that would like to have extra power.
It changes the math very little.
You think so?
Yeah, because she's getting... Every time she double taps, she's getting 3 power. She's not double tapping turn 1. Mm-hmm. She's probably moving and attacking on turn 1, though. So she's going into turn 3 with 3 power. Goes up to 5, down to 1. Up to 2, up to 4. So she's turns 2 and 3. She's getting to spend. She's getting to buy the extra attack. And if she takes damage at any point, she's getting it every turn.
Oh, I don't know what idiot I am doing, because I once played a Cabal list so I could play this model out of its virtual faction, Captain Marvel. I was like, I know I'm forgetting somebody, and then now her thing costs less, so it actually fucking works. It actually works. Before I was playing 6 points because I was putting Wong in the list with her just to make it happen early.
Yeah,
but yeah, now she actually can just sustain it the whole game. And I forgot. Yeah. It's Captain Marvel. Yeah,
Cabal is so weird because they're such like a fucking grab bag of models, and now I keep looking. I'm like, oh yeah, this person, and then they're affiliated. I'm like, why is this person in Cabal?
Yeah,
like Jeremy.
I already said.
What did you say? I can't remember.
Vision.
That's right.
Vision for all the right reasons.
I used to do Hulk was really fun back in the day because you would use Cosmic Invigoration to unactivate Hulk, which was hilarious. And so I think I'll just go with Hulk. Because all the characters I want to play in Cabal are already in Cabal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll go with Hulk. Especially now that he's better, it might actually be good.
You could also hot take it into Black Swan. I think she would be pretty sexy and
yeah, that's true. Yeah, because you're effectively reducing the cost of her big attack by 1, which is pretty big. Because I don't see a world in which you do that attack and don't hurt somebody.
Yeah.
Moving on to Convocation. This is easy, not close for me.
Are you gonna say Juggernaut?
No. I do like Juggernaut in there.
Yeah, though. Juggernaut's pretty sick.
Well, I'll just keep going with the attempt to not double up. So Parker, go ahead.
Convocation. I actually, I'm going to do my weird sleeper choice, and I'm going to say, I'm just like Ebony Maw. I'm going to say Ebony Maw because
I don't think he's a bad choice anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got him in my list right now, and I tried to play him in Convocation before I built the list I'm currently trying.
Yeah. I think,
All right.
yeah, because I think you actually do like a 6-point version of him, so he can move the space stone, so he can move himself. And then I know
You think he has enough power?
Doesn't he always have 4, right?
I think he generates 3.
He generates 3 plus the stone.
Oh, true. If you give him the stone.
Yeah, he has 4 turns.
That's a lot of points. I don't know if he's worth 6 points.
Is he? Well, that's my thought. Is he's a
Yeah.
6-pointer in a faction that doesn't have a 6-pointer, unless you do strange with a stone. But I don't think you do that.
Yeah, I do think he kind of needs the power stone. So yeah, he'd be getting 4. He gains 1 automatically from Black Tongue, so he's potentially getting 6 a turn. I don't know. He can't use his throw and space stone. No, wait. Yeah, he can. I'm dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm thinking space stone costs 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would be fine.
Yeah, I think
you're netting 2 a turn.
I think
1 a turn.
Yeah, I think he is a cool 6-drop for that faction.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, Jeremy.
I think the answer is either Elektra or Fury. Grunts in there, having those grunts die every turn is really, really good.
Oh, I see.
The tactics card getting to recur is pretty stupid.
Well, in that case, I imagine it's going to be Fury, right?
No, Elektra can auto kill themselves. You can't ignore it.
But
well, Fury
does the card require them to die from an enemy effect, or does it just die?
No, it just is KO'd.
Oh, okay.
So you can recur on your own.
But the shield agents are actually good, so your opponent will kill them. As where you would just be spending 4 points to kill your own models in the
do
corner
or don't
of the
do.
table. The whole
do
game.
or don't do. It's fine. Whatever you want to do.
Elektra. Oh my god. Why were you ever printed?
I know.
How does she kill them?
She uses one hand and balances on them perfectly and crushes their spine with perfect technique.
Oh, thanks.
They can just do Ninja Vanish or whatever, I think is what it is.
Yeah, they have the ability to disappear to transfer a token. So they'd have to have a token on them to make it happen. But
oh, you're saying it's a hand ninja ability. Well, then you would bring Daredevil, though. Why would you bring Elektra?
What's her mystic?
Daredevil's just better on the backside, I bet.
I don't care what her mystic is. She's terrible.
Because also, you don't have to use the mystic. You get to switch physical to mystic.
She has a range 3 mystic attack that's 5 dice pierce bleed.
Oh, that's why you could do Elektra, because she actually benefits from the leadership, I guess.
Yeah, but they just kill her because she's got like almost no defense. She generates 0 power.
Hold on.
The character does not know how to generate power.
Let me preface my statement with this is a terrible, terrible nonsense idea.
But Nick Fury is good, like actively good.
In Bizarro World, it's Shadowlands Daredevil every time because.
So I understand. I understand the argument for the hand ninjas because they can just auto kill themselves, which is really dumb, by the way. Speaking of, let me see. Daredevil. Yeah, I would still much rather have Daredevil than Elektra. I understand that she has the mystic attack. That's not the only thing that matters, though. They both summon in the hand ninjas. Daredevil's just not a bad model. Anyway, let's see, where was I? Yeah, I think that's a fair choice, Jeremy. I'm gonna go with Scarlet Witch. I think Scarlet Witch is really fun. I know a lot of people play Convocation for the scenario-based elements. I just love the concept of like mages throwing battle magic at you and trying to kill you, and so I like Scarlet Witch for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
Also, their leadership interaction with her is kind of interesting. I think also, like you said earlier, Juggernaut is an amazing choice as well. He almost is everything they want in a model. The only problem is that he doesn't have a mystic attack, which is not exactly a problem when he's that disruptive. All right, moving on, we have Criminal Syndicate. Actually, before we move on, I have a question. Because in most games, in general, this is primarily card games, but everything to the left of the colon is the cost. So as you're reading Ninja Vanish, it costs 0 power. Action, colon. Move 1 asset or civilian token being held by this character to another character within 3, period. The allied character is now holding that token, period. A character cannot hold more tokens than the crisis would allow due to this superpower, period. This character is KO'd. So you do everything that you can legally do, which is this model is KO'd. So all you have to do is say hand ninja gets an activation, ninja vanish, it goes away. It doesn't say it's required to be holding the token to use the ability.
Oh,
It
really?
doesn't say if this character, right?
Oh,
So you can just ninja vanish and kill
Yeah,
itself.
correct.
Yeah.
adorbs.
Yeah, so you just take Nick Fury and make a dude every turn. Oh no, not Nick Fury. I guess I could see why you're taking it. If you're literally just trying to abuse it. Well, it wouldn't even matter about turn 1 though, because the card's not going to be spent on turn 1, so you can't refresh it, right? Or you wouldn't refresh it.
I think you
This
would
is the
look at your scenario.
this is the
and whatnot.
Ironbound books, right?
Yeah.
Allied characters KO'd after the effect is resolved. You may return this card to your available team tactic slot. So a convocation may spend 2 during the power phase. I guess you could play it. Then this round, physical attacks are mystic attacks. I guess you could play it on the first turn. It just seems less valuable, but yeah. So you could play it, then activate the grunt later in the turn, and ninja vanish. It's whatever. Moving on, we've got next up Criminal Syndicate. Man, talk about an affiliation that wants mercenaries.
Yeah.
So Parker, who's your favorite drop-in for criminals?
Well, I play a lot of...
And this is where it starts getting interesting, because this is when the leaderships diverge.
Yes, I was about to say, I play a lot of Shadowlands Daredevil, and I swear by X-23. I think she is... X-23 / Honey Badger. They both are super duper strong for the faction. And I think she does so much more damage than she should when she gets to attack, and she gets to attack that many times often. So,
especially when Parker's playing her.
Yeah, especially when I roll all the dice. But
I was referring to how we alleged that you cheated using Frenzy last week, and I was going to give you a chance to rebuttal,
but I did not.
It just went right over your head.
No, I got it.
Okay.
But I have been exonerated. I did not, in fact, cheat, which I'm glad. That did not sit well with me if I did. But I didn't. For those who didn't see the last podcast, I thought her ability was not limited to once per turn, but it is limited to once per turn. So I was nervous that I actually used it twice in my game against John in the final round, but I didn't. So we found out that I just used it once. So we never broke any of those rules. He was also playing X-23, and he was looking for that. So he noticed that I didn't break the rule.
Yeah.
So,
all right, so who's your favorite?
I think it's X-23 because I'm a big Daredevil player, and she is just worth her weight in gold in Daredevil, I think.
Jeremy?
I like Iron Man, and I think Iron Man could fit in both, but I'm thinking more along the lines of Kingpin. I haven't messed with Daredevil very much. At all. I like Iron Man.
Yeah, I got that. Let's see. Man, there's so many good ones. So many. I think I'm gonna go with the one I have the most experience with. So I'm gonna go with Venom. I'm a big fan of Venom in Criminals. For a lot of the same lines along with Sabretooth. The fact that he is a hard to kill model that occupies a point, counts as 2 people, is huge, and he attacks back. And then you combine that with the fact that he's got 2 board control effects. Very strong. I love him in Criminals. It creates a huge problem on a flank when they basically can't send any 2 models really to deal with him unless they have heavy energy attacking. And that's kind of up to you to not get counter deployed. You obviously have to deploy Venom later once you kind of have a layout of the land. And it's not hard if he does get counter deployed to throw somebody over there just to give him a hand. And if you just focus down their energy attacker, it's really not that bad. And we're only talking like the difference of 1 defense die. It's not that big of a deal, honestly. Anyway, people freak out over having like a defense 2. It's not that big of a deal. It's not ideal, but it is what it is. All right, probably the most fun one, because this is you could literally do anything, and it's unlimited potential. Dark Dimension. There's only 3 models you can't name.
I think I'm actually going to go with Hood again.
Hood's very good
because he heals Dormammu at least, or if not the other model. He's difficult to remove, and then when he comes back, it just feels awful. And he actually can spend all the power all the time. He either actively heals people, or he is using it for his invisibility cloak, which is super good. I remember the very first time somebody ever threw a car at him, and he goes, "I'm going to use invisibility cloak," and he goes, does that work on dodges? I go, it says here, or dodges. He's like, Jesus. So he's one of the only models of the game. He might be the only model in the game that gets blanks on defense against dodge.
Specifically blanks, maybe.
Yeah. So I think he's
all right.
Super good.
We gotta start wrapping this up. So less explanation. Jeremy, what is your call for Dark Dimension?
I have some theories on that now.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going skulls, more skulls, Scarlet Witch.
Ooh, okay. That was not what I was expecting.
All the goddamn dice. And I love Dark Dimension, so I've got ideas.
You have played more than me at this point. I love Ghost Rider. Getting unlimited power on Ghost Rider is super fun. Also, he has ways to dump power. The list I used to play was the I Live Forever list, and so between Dark Restoration and Deal with the Devil, you could keep your list on the board basically forever, which was super fun. Moving on, we have the Defenders.
Does this fucking matter?
I can start if you want.
Yeah, go ahead. Who do you like?
You can pass. Don't be afraid to pass.
So I like the idea of portals with Hulk, but he's a defender, right?
He's in it.
Hulk is
Damn
a defender.
it.
You also like portals with Scarlet Witch, also a defender.
She's a defender?
Wait, what?
Yeah, Scarlet Witch.
Holy shit! I never noticed she was a defender.
Yeah.
God damn. See, I liked Hulk. I don't know what to do now.
You can also pass. I'll go.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go.
Magneto.
That is funny.
I introduced Parker to this game with Magneto
Jesus
on
Christ.
Defenders.
Oh wait, MODOK. Okay, I'm
teleport.
In. I remember.
God damn it!
I remember.
Teleport again. God damn it!
Yeah, I'm actually going to go with MODOK, just because he's one less point, and I think he's also super good in Defenders.
He is also very good.
Yeah.
Jeremy,
I said MODOK. God damn it.
You can just say one of the people that isn't Hulk. That's basically Hulk. Like She-Hulk. Or Hulkbuster.
He can't say She-Hulk. You know why?
Oh yeah,
she's a girl.
Because he would get a picture of her. In his head
she's a muscly lady.
I think it really comes back to Hood again. He's such a good utility character. Being able to help Strange, just being able to pop him back up and give him power.
You can't say Hood. He's a defender.
Stop it.
Are
you serious?
Just kidding. He's like 3 in a row. No.
Stop it.
All right, moving on. This is also going to be a really fun one because they get more mercenaries than anybody. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mine was always Ghost Rider, and I think I'm going to say Ghost Rider again because he's the classic great choice. I think
honor the classics.
I'm going to do a hot take that I think Black Swan is going to come up real fast behind him.
You mean Ronin 2?
Yeah, Ronin the Ronin 2, the Accusinator.
Yeah. Jeremy, I think you've got some experience with this too.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. It's like who can use the rerolls best and what are you trying to do? All I can imagine is X-23 plus Honey Badger's got to be some sort of fucking nightmare with all those rerolls and stuff. Like you're getting crazy dice. It's been a while. You know what? I think Juggernaut would be fantastic in there with rerolls on his big ass attack. Like
mobile
you just
model.
Explode.
You really just need mobility. Yeah.
An anchor. Like, that's a really good anchor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they want an aggressive anchor, which is why Ghost Rider works so well.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Juggernaut would also be a great drop-in. I'm going to, because I just don't want to duplicate, Juggernaut was going to be my answer. I'm going to just not duplicate, though. Amazing Spider-Man.
Yep.
Would also be quite good.
Yes, I have put him
fast,
in my list.
He's a good anchor, and a little bit more dice mod makes him pretty annoying.
He really is a vending machine, like a roulette wheel. Like, what do I get? Throw somebody, be somewhere, do something. Reroll.
All right. Next up, the saddest faction, the Inhumans, or as I like to call, not mutants.
Fury.
Okay.
For the manipulation of scenario, it's super cheese and jank, and I don't like it, but it's.
Jeremy, would you like me to go next?
Yes, please.
Thanos. Because
God.
the best thing you can do in Inhumans is have every single power your list generates pushed through Thanos. The only way to make this affiliation
oh my God.
is 15 power Thanos.
Laundering power.
Although, can you just imagine injured Black Bolt does Whisper and spends to increase his own dice and gets Death Decreed, and he's just like, go away. Just like deletes a line of people.
Oh my god.
It destroys the terrain. It breaks everything. Thanos is 100% all in who I'm choosing. And he's getting the Reality Stone, and he's getting the Time Stone, and he's going to do it all.
I think Captain Marvel is pretty good in there. Being able to give her power and be able to keep her up with that stuff, I think that's probably pretty good. I don't know. I'm less than excited about them.
No one cares. They used to be everyone's like, gimmicky turn one plays list, but everyone's realized that all their models are bad, so no one cares. Moving on, we've got the Midnight Suns. This is a fun one. This is a really fun one.
I'm going to go with my hot take. I want to do this so bad. I'm actually considering playing Midnight Suns just so I can do this, and it's Black Dwarf.
Yeah, a lot of people like taking Black Dwarf.
I really, really want to do this. I think it'll be super fun to play.
Yeah. At
4 points, when he feels like the Hulk at 4 points, that sounds awesome.
Jeremy?
Speaking of Hulks, Hulk. The amount of movement is just sick. It's so fun. And
so you're both saying Hulk.
Well, he's got baby Hulk. I'm saying big Hulk.
Oh, that's right, because he said Black Dwarf is like
Hulk.
Yeah. You said actual Hulk. Hulk was going to be my answer.
Oops.
That's okay. Let's see here. What kind of spiciness can we bring in? I'm going to go with... their Siege of Darkness is affiliated only, right?
Correct.
Okay. And bats is you can change a single die.
Yep.
On an affiliated character or just allied. Oh, should I better scroll up? Okay, yeah, that's it. I was like, no, is there more people on this list?
Allied Sons only.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry. Allied Sons spends 2. Yep, sorry. It says change one of the, not a. Yep, so it's the allied characters. It's Midnight Suns.
So you can't even do Original Strange. I'm just going to say what I've been thinking. I'm going to go with Scarlet Witch. Getting to place Scarlet Witch away or closer seems good. Like you can close that little bit of gap. Because placing within range 1 is a surprisingly large space. And there's a lot of times she's just like barely out of where she needs to be. I know it's not the popular, like take a big base melee person. Venom is also a great choice here, and I kind of want to pick Venom, but I'm going to go Scarlet Witch.
You know who else would really like this? And I don't know if you do that for this, but Magneto. Magneto would love Midnight Suns, I think.
Yeah, but I don't know if... I mean, yeah, I totally agree. I don't know if he's really what I would be going for here, because you already have so many expensive characters. I don't know if I could afford a 6-pointer that isn't a frontliner. That's why I picked Scarlet Witch, is because she's kind of filling that same role. And you don't need the do everything character, because everyone in here already beats face.
Right.
Moving on, we've got S.H.I.E.L.D., and this is fun because you're basically just choosing who you're playing the initiative on.
I just recently stared at this super hard for 2 hours, trying to figure out what to do with S.H.I.E.L.D. And
Hulk moving long, it sounds stupid. Like just all of a sudden.
Matter? He's not slow. I mean, it doesn't matter.
And then
just
move long.
Did you know that you can already move long with Hulk as a tactics card? It's called extreme conditioning.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal.
No, but this one's done at any time, and it's not your activation. It's fucking climbing gear, long. Just saying.
Gamma launch.
He can't gamma launch himself.
You don't think he can gamma launch himself?
I don't know what game you're playing. It's getting weird.
All right, if neither of you guys are going to say anything, I'm going to go.
Do it.
Ghost Rider.
Okay.
He gets lots of power. There's lots of cheap people. He hits like a truck. He gets victory points. You can have somebody attack a shield agent, cause damage to them because they roll crits, and then you get a victory point when they die. And then Ghost Rider can potentially start moving with aggressive if you shoot him, which is pretty funny. I mean, he's already range 3, but he does get to move. Set up his beam attack. Come on, guys, go.
I'm actually going to say Punisher, because punishment tokens, and he just kills things dead. They have a bunch of utility damagers, but I don't think they have anybody who just kills things dead, except for maybe Winter Soldier. So I like Punisher. I think Punisher would be strong.
Fair. Jeremy, you go.
I already said Hulk.
Hulk. Okay, I'm just confirming. You sound kind of questionable on it.
Oh, I'm good.
All right. Spider foes. Black Swan.
Damn it.
Black Swan is cute because she rolls 2
Yeah.
of your opponent's dice. That's cute. I actually really... I'll never... The one I want to say you can't do because he also costs 4 points. So, is Sabretooth.
What do you mean?
I think Sabretooth of Spider-Foes sounds super good.
Why can't you do Sabretooth?
Because you already have so many 4-pointers. I don't know how you do it.
4/4s is a legit plan. Like, dude, people underestimate 4/4s. Because at 16, you can't really do 6. So you're only going to be outnumbered by 1, but having 4-4-pointers, being outnumbered by 1 isn't a big deal. It just means you have priority.
The reason why I said Sabretooth is then you have so many things you don't want to attack.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh man,
totally
I don't want to attack Carnage because then Carnage comes back and,
Sabretooth was my choice.
Yeah. I think it's Sabretooth.
I've played it. Dude, it's brutal.
Yeah.
Because, you got 2 guys that hit you back. You've got a bunch of traps. It's very good.
You don't want to do anything to any of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a solution for this one. I think everyone can play Spider-Foes.
Yeah, Spider-Foes are, I think, probably the most underrated affiliation in the game right now. They're so good. I'm going to go with Hood, just to be Parker's choice, because he took mine. Mm-hmm. Hood's great in here. You've got a lot of deep health people, and he's just good. Like, adding in Hood's gang on top of the already rerolling a defense die for your opponent. He has rapid fire. He has the healing. He's got, area damage. He's got a lot of tricky stuff going on that synergizes well with the rest of the kit. The biggest problem for him is once he gets injured. Let me make sure I'm not about to lie to everyone at home because I don't want to be a Parker. God, no wonder I couldn't spell this fucking word right. Yeah, it doesn't work. All right. I'm glad I checked. I was going to say you could neogenic to take the damage off of him, but you can't. That's fine. But yeah, I'm still sticking with it. I think Hood's great. The only... Oh, I'll let Jeremy go. Jeremy, you want to know what my honorable mention was going to be?
I don't know.
Rocket. He's just so efficient.
I was honestly getting ready to say Rocket. He's range 5.
I thought you might get there. Yeah, range 5. He has booby traps, which synergize with all their traps, and he's super efficient. Because nobody's going to be worried about Rocket when Venom is fucking standing on their face. Like, you got shit to deal with.
But, by the way, the one that we can't say that's the correct answer is Winter Soldier. Because it's one more thing.
You think so?
It's one more thing of just like, ugh.
Oh, yeah.
You're just like, I don't want to attack anything because if I attack, then Venom will attack me back. If I daze him, then Winter Soldier attacks me and just, ugh.
You think Winter Soldier is above Hood? I mean, it's Hood by default because we said no rogue agents.
Actually, I don't think so, maybe, because Hood's gang also...
It's close.
Because Hood gang works on attack backs, and so if you have things like Venom in there, and you're doing attack backs...
The correct answer is you're doing all of them, so it doesn't matter. Like, your 2-3s are Hood and Winter Soldier.
Right.
And Lizard, obviously. So, moving on. Uncanny X-Men, this was a huge mercenary faction for a long time. Until they got good models finally, so now that's not so bad. Parker, do you have a go-to?
I actually still, to this day, really love Corvus Glaive in it. I really do.
Corvus Glaive and Proxima.
Yeah, Corvus Glaive and Proxima, sort of, but I think
it did get nerfed because they don't free activate anymore, and it's a shorter range. Still great. Yeah. Still very good.
Yeah. They're both really, really strong models, and having DR plus the cover until they're stuck in it, and they trade up so high.
Yeah. Yeah. Jeremy, there's basically 2 amazing ones left, so I'll just say whichever one you don't.
Juggernaut.
Magneto.
There you go. Done.
I did not expect Juggernaut.
Really?
I thought you were going with Thanos.
No.
100% thought you were going Thanos.
Listen, I love that, but I think Juggernaut, because he's a humongous base. Again, they need an anchor.
He doesn't need the speed, though. I guess you could just use it somewhere else, but you're not using the leadership, in my opinion.
People are popping off of him. He doesn't use it. They move through.
That's fair.
Yeah, like I think that he's again, X-Men are kind of fragile. Like they don't live to the end game where he does.
I figured it was between Magneto, Hulk, and Thanos. We're like the big 3. And I thought Thanos just because you love Thanos, but I was basically between Hulk and Magneto, whichever one you didn't say I was saying. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
All those are good choices.
Same theory, yeah, agreed. It's all the same shit. Web Warriors. This is not close for me. It's absolutely obvious.
Shuri.
Yep. Parker.
I was actually going to say Fury.
Nick Fury.
Yeah, because I think.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because the one thing they can't do right now is have total control over reds, and if you put somebody who has such control over reds on top of what they do to blues, it's just going to be so punishing.
I mean, they have Black Cat. That's a lot of control.
It's a steal, but I love that once the guy. The whole thing is I want this 1 point to be mine for the rest of the game, and for them to just be unable to get it back. You're like, okay, cool. Here's Fury, and he's not an asshole by himself. It's not like he's doing nothing.
All right, so Jeremy already said Shuri, which was obviously my choice.
Oh, I have one you'll never choose, but I think you should.
Well, I'm not going to duplicate on purpose, so I'm going to go with Quicksilver. It's not as good as it used to be, but back in the day, he was like the honorary web warrior before Black Cat came out, because he could steal reds, and he had wall crawler, and he was mobile, which basically made him a web warrior. It was pretty funny. But yeah, I liked him a lot. Having another wall crawler that's speed long, just to threaten taking back points off your opponent, that you don't really care if he gets dazed, like it doesn't hurt you. Yeah, I liked it a lot. What were you going to say, Parker?
Miss Marvel. She's got the card that combos with Miles, and Miss Marvel is another model that controls reds.
But you are correct. I will never say that.
Choose her, yeah.
Fucking hate Miss Marvel. She's so dumb. Moving on. We have X-Force. X-Force!
X-Force.
Boy, they kind of have all the models they like. Parker? You played the most X-Force.
Yeah, I know. I think it's actually probably Zemo. I think it's Zemo.
Yeah, we talked about that. I was like, I know we've talked about this so many times.
Yeah, because he really, for some reason, he slides into this like role so well of just.
What's the leadership is reroll and attack die?
Yeah, reroll one attack die per turn, and it doesn't sound like you're like, oh wow, there are a lot of guys that could use that, and it's true, but for some reason, Zemo just feels like he's all over the map, constantly giving everybody just a little bit of extra damage and a little bit of extra defense.
Well, the thing they kind of needed too is a fast model. Like he fixed everything they don't have, but also synergizes.
Right.
They're short on 3-point models. They're short on mobile models. They're short on fast models.
Yeah.
And they're short on synergy models. Mm-hmm. So he literally covers all of those, and then also is a good physical fighter, which is what they like.
Yeah.
And he has good dice mod that he shares with the team.
Yeah.
Venom.
Yeah, I was gonna say Venom's another really.
He's just Sabretooth too, so yeah.
I don't. X-Force makes me laugh. I'm just like, what the fuck do they even do?
You know what model Go ahead, Jeremy.
I think Iron Man is probably pretty good in there.
Iron Man's solid.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hawkeye's also not bad because it's a back point holder that they kind of need.
I
guess they have Cable.
I was like, that's 8 points.
Something I stared at for a while when I was making my Cabal list that I eventually aborted because I didn't think it was worth it. But a really interesting is Sinister, because you can pop in X-23 and Sinister getting a reroll is not super important, but you give him a control model and you can drop in extra models, and he gets to use his tactics card on the entire faction and it just heal on the first turn. So you can basically
we
use
forgot
his tactics
the
card
obvious
for free.
one.
What's that?
Because nobody's played X-Force since he was released. Mordo.
Oh yeah, I did play X-Force with him. Yes, Mordo's fantastic. He feels so good. I actually might say him for X-Men too.
Yeah. So that's going to wrap up our favorite mercenaries in each affiliation. Hopefully you found this somewhat informative, and I think we tried to spread it as thin as we could so that way we weren't just all hailing the same thing every time. But just like all of our other ratings things and like choosing things, I think you're surprised how often that the group that you all think that you know the game pretty well between you as a group come up with different answers to these questions a lot, which I think shows that the game's in a pretty good spot. So, do you guys have anything else you want to chat about before we get out of here?
I think it's important to let everyone know that these are not opinions. These are all facts.
These are facts. These are indisputable facts.
Indisputable facts. You all might have opinions, but that's not our problem.
I'll also say this one thing about like Perfect is as soon as a new model comes out for a faction, people have the tendency to get really myopic about that faction all of a sudden. They're like, like for example, Daredevil comes out. You're like, oh, Shadowlands Daredevil is so cool in Criminals, so let's play a lot of Criminals, for example. I'm not saying everybody tries that, but it's something that people can do. But then thinking about how that model then applies to this older faction, like Convocation, is a really kind of sideways way of thinking about it. This is the same way Mr. Sinister, came out, and you're like, wow, what a really interesting model a long time ago, but you didn't see a lot of play other than a few people poked around with him. But now some new models come out in other factions, and you're like, wait a minute, he might be a really cool drop-in in something like X-Force, for example. So it's one of the things I like about this game is you can constantly dust off models off the shelf or shove brand new models into old ideas and give them new life. Find new ways to get the mercs.
Yeah. I think one of the best things about this game, much like in War Machine, changing just one or two models of your list can dramatically affect the way it plays. And even more so in this, obviously changing your leader in War Machine changed the way your entire army worked. But in this, changing just like one of the 10 models you have opens up whole new options, especially if you're doing dual affiliation. If you can find a model you weren't considering before that works well with both of your affiliations, it can transformatively reinvigorate your roster. Anyway, I think it's going to wrap it up for us today. Thank you guys for joining us. This has been Brandon.
And Dr. Mantis Sabagan, MD.
And Jeremy.
And this has been The Gang Prepares to Feast.
So what are we going to call this thing?
I got it. Okay. Incredible, new, fantastic, astonishing, mighty, original, uncanny, sensational podcast.
I'm just going to put down Infamous.
Okay, we're recording. We just recorded an entire episode.
And how was that episode? Man, oh man.
It was amazing.
How about that
You know
episode?
why? You know why?
Why?
Because.
Because we dominated it.
Yeah.
There was like
Smooth.
the part that like, and then you said the stuff, and then I was like, yup. And then you go, yup.
Yeah, Dad, you made that Grace your bitch.
Throwing Granddad's war medals off the bridge.
Huh? He really sells it with like the look on his face. He's like, "What?" Like,
Yep.
like that sentence had never been like pondered by him before that exact moment. He's like, "Wait, what?"
So good. I woke up this morning and I had some time and I'm like, oh, I'll just turn the TV on for a second. And I watched Happy Gilmore for the 27,000th time, but it's been a few years. Oh my God.
Dude, like Will Ferrell movies are just the new fucking Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, yeah. It's like all the same fucking people and they're all funny. Until you get to like 2000, then they're not.
That's true, yeah. All the Adam Sandler Netflix movies are like, dude, please stop.
Yeah.
For the love of God.
Do you know why he does those?
I don't know.
It's a total scam. So he basically just goes around Hollywood, gets a bunch of like executive producers to sign up for a movie because he's a blockbuster star, or at least he used to be. And so they just get total idiots to invest in the movies. They make the movies for nothing. And then all of the money gets paid to his friends, which are all in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just like, it's like renewing the rights on like an IP. It's like, well, we gotta get paid, so we have to make a dog shit movie every 5 years, or else we won't have money anymore.
Yeah, it's very hit or like it's not even hit or miss. It's like 1 out of 5 of the Netflix movies that he makes are worth a crap.
It's like alumni dues. They're just leeching money out of the old farts that don't know what they're really investing in.
I don't know. I mean, speaking of Netflix, man, like if it wasn't for Breaking Bad still being on there, I don't know if I'm in with them anymore. Like,
I've started watching the last season of Ozarks.
Yep.
and I'm like halfway through it, I want to say, and as soon as I'm done, I'm canceling because I have too many subscriptions right now anyway, and I got too much shit I haven't watched. I can't even remember the last thing I'm like super behind on, but like in like 2 months we got Better Call Saul season 5 and Ozark season 4, so yeah, that's well worth the price of admission for many months.
True, but yeah, I'm done with Ozarks. Already did that. I'm kind of like
I actually had been binging a bunch of shows. I watched all of Kim's Convenience.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That was a fun one. There was another one I was binging on there. Can't remember now. But like, there's a bunch of shit I still want to watch that I haven't watched yet. I can't remember what show I was partially watching. I've been trying to start watching One Piece again. I just have this new strategy where I just jump ahead 15 minutes if it's not an interesting point. Because it's an anime that was originally written for children, but it's been going on for so long, it's kind of written for young adults now. And I think the world's really interesting. I like some of the characters, but they do way too much like kid pandering, and I hate that. And so I want to know, like, I want to see the fights and I want to see the interesting plot points. But so like, there's so many filler episodes where like the pirate crew lands on an island and then they just meet this old hermit guy, and it's 3 episodes of him telling them his life story. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, I cannot watch this. It's so dry. It's so boring. And so I'll just like, oh, that's what's happening this episode? Skip. And just go to the next episode.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll get the gist. Like, they're gonna fucking rehash it 5 times every episode anyway.
I feel like I need to like just get rid of Netflix so then I can just dive as deep as I can into Hulu and also Amazon Prime. Both of them have good stuff, and I just haven't gone that direction in a long
Prime's
time.
the sneaky one because they don't really have like the browsing site. It's just like on their fucking website, and so it's really weird. So if you don't have a Fire Stick, it's hard to like browse what they have, and even then, it's still hard to browse everything.
That's true.
Because if you're on the Fire Stick, it's harder to like search for specific things. There's a lot of good stuff on Prime though. It like surprises me when I look through it. I'm like, I didn't know all this was on Prime.
Yeah.
It's a lot of movies, as we're like Netflix and Hulu are more TV shows. But
they have some good shows too. I've seen some good ones. Sneaky Pete is legit.
Yeah, I watched the first season. I never followed up with it though. The first season was good.
Are we talking about Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
Yeah. Prime Video.
I really like Good Omens.
Did you like that one? I didn't. I haven't watched it yet.
I really
Did that get a second season?
Don't think so. It's only one book. There's more than one book.
Okay. I didn't get it. I don't know. I think I got the jokes, but like it was just too dry.
Oh.
Isn't Good Omens a part of American Gods and?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Okay.
It's basically just follows a devil or a demon and an angel along like
their life together.
The end of days, yeah. And it's like they have a history and everything.
Yeah, so American Gods is the second book.
They have an amazing cast. I love the cast, which is why I watched it. But I just like, I don't know. It was this weird mix of like super campy and also like super dry. And so it was just a weird road for me. If it wasn't for the cast, I probably would have hated it.
Yeah, the cast, I would agree. The cast crushes it and makes it very fun. It couldn't be a really good movie without them. But it is, a really good show without them. But it is a really good show with them.
The Boys, the next season should be coming out pretty soon.
Yep.
Which I just started rewatching that so I can be ready.
Yeah, you want your body as ready as possible.
I got to be ready.
I've already named this episode, by the way.
Oh.
That was fast.
No, I knew I've had this ready for days.
Oh.
So, because we're Always Sunny in Philadelphia inspired, I've drawn a parallel to this giant, vast void of news we've had as us living off the scraps, like Frank does. So,
oh God, we're trash man.
This is us getting off the scraps.
And he's Mantis.
On. Yeah, we're no longer the Mantis. Now we're going to feast.
Yeah. So one of my favorite responses to speaking of Always Sunny, this reminded me. Elon Musk apparently quoted that almost anyone can afford the hypothetical price tag for the SpaceX ticket to Mars, it only costs $100,000. And the first post underneath that was Charlie. Oh, just get $100,000. Why don't I just strap on my $100,000 helmet and squeeze down into a $100,000 canyon and fire off into the $100,000 land where $100,000s grow on $100,000s?
I mean, yeah, if your sole goal in life was to get to Mars before you die, yeah, there's a lot of ways you could save up $100,000.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, just the sheer concept that you're going to spend like 6 months living in a tiny metal can would equate perfectly to how you have lived your life to this moment.
Right.
So, like, if you were going to live in a studio apartment and do IT, sure, you could get $100,000 in like 5 years. But, like, you'd have to, you're saving every penny. Because the way, especially as liquid, like the way like American society at least has developed is go into massive debt so that you can earn more money and pay it off eventually and get into the black. And so, but that doesn't happen until you're like 30 or 40. And so it's like, yeah, I guess you could also just go get a reasonably good paying job and live as cheaply as humanly possible. Eat freeze-dried food and live in a metal can. That's basically like what it will be on Mars too. So,
yeah, you just said about the news, like we're now, but we just have one model, right? That's all we got. That's all the news.
Okay? When was the last time we got a model?
Okay, that's it though. That's the downpour you're talking about. Okay.
No, because the panel plays are back. That's the big part, that they're happening again.
Okay.
I think we're gonna have one of these like every week because we're only 3 weeks away from the mini extravaganza.
Yeah, I think they'll start pouring in. I assume right.
Next week we're gonna have Supergiant, and then we might take a week off and then immediately go into mini extravaganza. This is the ramp up.
Okay.
You're like here, and I need you like way up here.
Got it.
Bring the energy up.
I'm gonna try.
You're harsh in the chill, yo.
All right, Parker, do you have, like, rock salt or paprika or, like, cayenne pepper in the house? I'm going to give you a remedy for you being, like, not energetic. Go upstairs and snort all of it. And then come back down here. You'll be raring to go.
Okay.
Ready.
I am going to try. Okay. I've been doing infinite energy all day, and that's the problem, as I've just been going. But I can do it. I can do it for 2.5 more hours. Let's do it. I'm going to do it.
You got it? You did it?
Yep, I think I got it. Actually, there's one thing I wanted to update here. What are you playing right now, Jeremy McGurk?
Brotherhood.
Okay, good. I got that.
Oh, baby.
Brandon, I don't know what you're playing right now, so.
I
just put that because I didn't know what you wanted to put.
He's playing Up Dog.
That's what I'm playing.
Okay. And is this our main topic?
Maybe we can I name this?
Is the main topic?
What? The main topic is news. I don't know. What I wanted to do today was we could talk about the mission packet, but
Oh, that's right. The mission packet. Where is that?
But I literally have not had a chance to read it still. I worked 7 hours today.
Yeah, look at us.
Even though it's my day off.
I started at 7 and I actually got done at 9:30, so I have not also done anything really. I've been going like a monster myself. Very proud of myself, but ugh. What is the place for this? Where do you find this thing? Even if I wanted to.
What are you trying to find?
This thing you're describing, the tournament packet, right?
Oh, yeah. I don't know why they posted the way they did. It's like a fucking Google Doc. Yeah, let me look it up. Facebook. Marvel. Search team. Hey, look, I found it. It's gonna go in the MCP general chat. I don't want to do it today because, again, I haven't had time to read it, and so it would be just like, unless you guys want to do it, and I'll just be like along for the ride.
What do you
And
mean?
then I'll just,
we
like-
haven't read it though, so
I think Jeremy has read it.
Yeah, I've read it, but I don't really care about that topic too much.
Yeah.
You guys have fun with it when you're ready. How much longer do you have with school, Parker?
He's
Tomorrow.
done. Graduation was tonight.
graduation of the high school was tonight. We still have one more day of school, and then the day after that, I'm going back to fix up my new classroom because I'm moving on up to another room.
Nice. So Mr. Davy Jones, he's done with school tomorrow.
hmm
And so I told him that he absolutely had to come play Marvel with us.
Yeah.
And he agreed. And so he's supposed to be there, not tomorrow, but next Thursday with his models.
Okay, I love
He's
that
going to be
just-
there. Yeah, I know. If not, I'm just going to beat him to death with a rubber hose. So, like, he's making his choice either way.
Who is this?
Dave
you've
Jones.
met him.
Longtime friend of the family.
Yeah. He taught Parker everything he knows about War Machine.
Oh, yeah?
He was there at the very beginning, and Lawrence though.
There
He
was a moment that statement was true.
Yeah.
You know, you learn by beating the shit out of people. That's the way you can learn.
Yeah.
It's Parker's favorite way to learn.
Yeah. A punching bag teaches you everything you need to know about punching.
All it does is just lay there, just like I want my opponents. Just sit there and take it. I'll tell you when to stand up.
Just do not struggle.
Yeah.
Do not struggle. Shh, it'll be okay.
It'll hurt if you struggle.
It'll just be worse.
Yep.
So I had like a whole week off, and then like weekend days on both sides. So I had a bunch of days off. What I have completely decided is
Never going back to work.
well, I've been back to work now for 4 days.
Oh,
I
gross.
like it a lot not working. So, I mean, it's legit information. Like, I'm going to have to, like, start taking pills. Like, I do not feel good about going to work.
It's just the work you do is just ball busting.
No, I just don't want to work anymore.
He just
No.
he's ready
I'm
to
just
retire.
done. I'm retired.
Yeah, just call it.
Yeah. Of the things
I believe
want
Jeremy
to
is the
do,
elder statesman of the podcast.
He is.
The elder statesman.
He's got that Reed Richards hair coming in.
hmm
Oh, man, I hope so.
You know that Doctor Strange hair, the perfect grays, like in straight lines.
Fuck yeah.
I didn't like the Doctor Strange hair from the opening scene
Mhm.
where it was like two big like skunk stripes. That looked
Yeah.
really stupid to me.
Yeah.
With the ponytail.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Can I? Nah, never mind. I think we still can't do spoilers in the pre-ramble, can we? I've thought about something about that movie, but I don't know. Can we?
Yeah, we'll have to do it at the end if you want to talk
Okay.
about it at the end.
Okay.
I mean, I honestly, I'd be surprised if anybody hasn't seen it by now, but we should definitely wait and make an announcement.
Well, isn't this happening at the end anyway? Right? This is happening.
This is at the end, but it's at the beginning of the end, not the end of the end. Because
Okay.
the thing about spoilers, if you're like, hey, there's going to be a spoiler,
Then you can't. They don't know when the
then
spoilers.
that, like, okay, so they're just going to not listen to the next half
Right.
hour of the podcast. And
Okay,
so
deal. Well,
that's
whenever
why
we're
you do-
about
it's
to
like-
close up, I have something I want to
Yeah.
say.
it has to be the bookend end. That way
Yeah.
they're not missing anything.
Got it.
I'm actually curious. I'm wondering what percentage of my announcements I should devote in the direction of our local listeners. Oh,
What?
this looks like a jump. Holy shit.
What?
We did something right.
What did we do?
All-time most popular episodes, 71, 72, 63, 65, 84. Recently, we've done well.
Nice.
The week of April 20th through April 26th, we had 367 plays.
What?
That's pretty good. That is our largest spike ever.
When was that?
Only a month. That was 3 weeks ago. So episode 84, the one that's like top 5 all time.
What was the content of that one?
Garbage.
Episode 84.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't think we've had any good content in a while. It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
I'll check.
What's it
Episode
called?
84 was subtitled "What is Best." That was the one where we rated.
That was a
the
good
best
one.
in each affiliation. Yeah, I like that.
That was
a
a
lot.
good one.
Yeah, I like that. I like doing that kind of stuff.
Why don't we do one? You had something here about best merc. Did we not do that?
Yeah, it's the problem with that one is I want people to like sit down and think about it. The problem is we don't do homework. Like, right, we show up, someone's always late, and then we're like running into the podcast, and so we don't have time to like, all right, everyone take half an hour and think about this topic. And so I don't like just off the cuffing the like complicated stuff like that.
Okay.
So we tend to just push it to the side. But anyway, our estimated audience size is over 100 people now.
I did get hit up with one of my Syracuse friends said he went to his first tournament, and he was saying like he's been listening to the episodes like ever since we started. And again, he's kind of a random Syracuse guy up there holding down the fort for me since I left.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
We have 7,868 lifetime listens.
I'm gonna bank that.
Freaking huge when you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Because we have less than 100 episodes, which means there's been 780 people have played episodes, or 780 our audience basically 700 times has listened to episodes. That's crazy. So there's been a lot of duplication.
Oh, also, so the guy I was talking to, his name's John Becker, and he did say, quote unquote, "I'll share your podcast next time you guys post." So John, you better do it.
I post every week. I don't know. Okay.
He needs to share with his
okay.
Syracuse folks.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna point this out. You can take it for what you will, but I'm gonna have you guys guess. This is a little sub content outside the episode. There is one country that has more than 10% of our listener base. Would you guys like to guess which country that is?
One country that has more than 10%.
Atlanta.
Country.
Oh, I heard you.
Atlanta.
Get an idiot. Gotcha.
Delaware. Fuck.
Fucking
So
damn.
it's obviously the U.S. Parker, would you like to guess what percentage of our listeners reside within the United States?
Well, Guernsey is what, like 44%, right? So it's got to be.
No, it is not. That's not.
I mean,
how
they have
1
been
over 10 works.
a huge tournament.
However, they are not lowest on the poll anymore. There's 5 countries below Guernsey on the totem pole.
I'm
now.
telling you,
Man.
ever since we got that big Guernsey market, we are just going to
Yeah, I know.
skyrocket.
I'm gonna check, and it's gonna be the same 2 guys that live like 30 minutes apart.
I love Guernsey and everything.
I cannot believe, like, thank God for like Zuckerberg, so we can look up people's private data this easily. Just find out. I'm pulling up Google Earth of where these people live, and all they do is listen to our podcast.
Yeah. We're like,
All right,
we're not
so
sure
Parker-
who lives at 1085 Sparrowwood
I need a
Lane.
number. Yeah, Sparrowwood. Parker, I need a number.
What?
Jeremy, you're also welcome to guess. What percentage of people in the U.S. listen? What percentage of our listeners are within the U.S.?
65.
83%.
91.
You were so close, Jeremy.
Damn it.
It's the obvious number. Anytime someone asks you for a number, it's obviously 69.
I was about to say, was this
Oh.
69? Is this a 69 joke?
It was. You guys made it so bad, though. You ruined it.
Oh, damn it.
One of us should have said 420.
Fuck.
Yeah.
One of us has to be beat up.
421%.
It's
One of
always
us needs
That
to
would
be
be
beat
the
up for that.
ultimate 420 answer. Is like,
it's
what
always
percentage?
69.
420.
It's always
Like,
69 or
not...
420, and I hate
God
that.
damn it.
I hate everything about that.
It's
Right, so countries below Guernsey is Singapore, South Korea, Colombia, Mexico, and Pakistan.
All of those, I really don't care about Pakistan. I don't
Okay.
I don't know why, but it just
Shout
seems
out
like
to the people that are okay. So we have to check Guernsey. Yep, St. Peter Port. Oh, there's two. Yep, there's two people.
we're doing very well with them.
No,
as
wait,
well,
hold
still.
on a second. Wait a second.
Did we get an extra one?
How many people? Why won't you tell me how many? I think our community in Guernsey might be growing.
Yeah, buddy.
Oh man, I think that's because of Parker. I have to tell you, he's been
I have
really
sweet.
you've sweetened it up.
Yeah. I don't think there could be anything more that I need than just more Guernsey listeners.
Actually, there's one
got a
guy
fever.
and his friend, and then he listened and then realized we were talking about him, so he was like, "I got to get my wife to listen to this because that's me."
Yeah.
That's it.
So honorable shout outs in order of population. We have Canada, the United Kingdom, the Philippines, Germany, Australia, Netherlands, Norway, Austria, Sweden, Chile, Poland, Ireland, Brazil, Denmark, Malaysia, France, Iraq, and Japan. Oh, and Jersey, the country.
Malaysia?
Guernsey.
Do you know how
Yeah,
far
Jersey.
fucking Malaysia
Oh,
is?
Jersey, the country.
Jersey, yeah, and then Guernsey and the other ones I mentioned.
Got it.
Wow. I mean, like I said, that we're missing opportunities here with shirts and the Guernsey population.
Apparently, yeah.
We could
I
really
would
making bank.
pay any amount of money for a Guernsey Infamous shirt.
Any amount of money, because you could finance our whole merchandise.
I was going to say just
100 grand.
I needed to say
100 grand.
I needed to
100
say
grand
I'm into my 100 gram cannon.
I needed to say Infamous Podcast number one. Number one. No. I needed to say third most popular. Third most popular MCP podcast themed with.
Oh, you're butchering this.
He's like at like
You
18
want me to do
qualifiers,
it? Yeah.
and he's have like 18 qualifiers. I'm sorry, I'm so low on energy right now. All I have is
Yeah.
praise for Guernsey. I have nothing else.
I'm just
saving up for
sustaining
so
myself
long.
on my Guernsey praise.
I'm I'm doing so poorly
I
right now.
cannot wait until they quit listening because we find out we're mispronouncing the country's
It's
name.
not. It's very important to me that we pronounce it correctly. I was very
I'm not gonna
confident when I
lie.
saw it.
Those pictures we looked up of Guernsey looked nice.
Yeah.
That looks like a good place to live.
What I don't understand is why I didn't understand that Guernsey, like where Guernsey was. I just knew it was a place in Europe. I
It's in
didn't
like
understand.
the Mediterranean, right?
No, it's not. It's in the English Channel. It's off the coast of France.
Isn't that the Mediterranean?
Oh Jesus! Now you're trolling. But
No, that's right. It's on the other side.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
still, man.
Did you
Very
talk about?
far away.
Did you talk to Nigel about some swag? You're supposed to
I
find
did
out.
not.
Damn it!
You see, there's the things that I have to do to stay alive, and then there's the things that I have to do for work, and then there's the things that I have to do to stay sane. Then there's the other shit, and I'll get to that shit later.
I think you're. I don't know. I think your list is really fucked up all the time. I don't
Yep.
think.
I think you should.
I don't think it's relative to anybody.
I think you need
else's
to do like
world.
Jeremy and just fuck it all. Just fuck the list.
I'm just gonna retire.
That's what I'm saying. It's work things for chumps.
I don't know why I did it for so long.
Fucking stupid. I just kept betting on black. Won a car.
Is that a Vegas vacation reference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just put a $1 in, won a car.
Put a dollar.
in, won a car.
One car.
Uh,
Hey, I'm looking for this kid,
everybody,
Nick
everybody grab
Papagiorgio.
some keys.
Well, my favorite scene is a throwaway line whenever he's rescuing him from the party, and the bouncer comes in and goes, "Hey, you guys are looking for a kid named Nick Papagiorgio?" And he goes, "Yes, he stole my wallet. He went that way." I don't know why I love that line. Yes, he stole my wallet.
Just because it's so nonsensical. Like,
Right.
like if you try to deconstruct it, none of it makes any
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. Like why?
But
why
if you
did he...
said it to somebody in that situation, they would probably react that way.
Right. Like the guy just goes, "Oh, good. Let me thanks, man." And you're like, "What?" But I love it. Oh yes, he stole my wallet.
Did you guys see the She-Hulk trailer?
No, I didn't.
I have seen it now 3 times. I The first time I saw it because it popped up and I thought it was a fake. I thought it was a deep fake thing where they like just take clips of shit. And I was surprised
I hate
that it
when
wasn't.
people do that.
Yeah.
Those are so annoying.
It makes me really mad. Yeah, but it wasn't that. And the second time I saw it because it popped up on a feed from Disney Plus, and so I watched it again.
I think that actually annoys me more than when people do the fake MCP cards, when it's like, guys, this is my 2099 Spider-Man card. What do you guys think? Or like insta-block. Like I just like don't even read it. It's like, get out of here. I never want to see anything you say ever again. Like you have wasted more of my time than I am okay with already.
You gave me one of those with Phoenix on it before, just to troll me.
Yeah, I didn't read it though. I just sent it to you as a joke, saying that it was a Phoenix spoiler.
Yeah.
I saw it. I was like, I'll get the entertainment value out of this by sending it to Parker and saying it's real, and then I'll just take that time to block this guy.
Ooh.
All right, so if less than 70% of our listeners are even from the U.S., what are the odds? Oh, I know. I could actually check the breakdown of who's in Kansas and Missouri. For anyone who doesn't know, we reside in Kansas City, which is on the border of 2 states.
Mm-hmm.
Not quite as recognizable as Colorado, which is obviously between Kansas and Colorado. Oh boy. Yikes. We're not even in the top 3.
Oh no.
Top 3 for what?
States that listen to our podcast.
Nice.
Oh, our people don't even like us.
6% of our U.S. listeners. That just means we're famous.
Mm-hmm.
We are. We don't need support from them, honestly.
We're world infamous. We're not local celebrities, just celebrities.
I'm beyond it, to be honest. I don't need it.
I wonder. Oh my God, do we have listeners in all 50 states?
Achievement unlocked.
I feel like Plague Inc. now. We're just trying to infect the whole world. Just turn the whole thing red. That's the goal, right?
Which state are we missing, and how do we correct it?
Oh, 44 states.
Man,
we're missing 6. We have Alaska and Hawaii. We got the hard ones. We don't need to pump up our boat infection.
It's going to be fucking Montana. There's 27 people live there.
Nope. Montana.
Really?
Yep. We have 3 listeners, 2 in Kalispell and 1 in Marion. Marion.
Well, good for them.
Any other challenges?
Whew, let's see. I mean, I thought that one for sure.
It was like North Dakota, South Dakota. Are they on there?
I saw the South Dakota. I don't remember seeing North Dakota. Does anyone live in North Dakota? Can we get a confirmation on that?
What do you mean by live?
Yeah, exactly. No North Dakota. Good call, Parker.
Thought so.
All right. Let me just throw out some usual suspects here. Listeners in Kansas, we've got Overland Park, Gardner, Lenexa, Leavenworth, Kansas City, Salina, and Olathe. Oh, and Shawnee. We have less than 1% Shawnee. John, I see you. This is definitely John. Yep. John is our only listener.
He's keeping it real. Got to keep it real.
That's hilarious. I love this. I don't know why I get so much entertainment out of this. I'm sure people hate it, but I love reading our statistic numbers. Virginia was the winner at 10%.
Ooh.
Georgia also 10%.
They've got that good, healthy gaming money.
Yeah. Hawaii is tied for last with 1 listener.
Oh. Do you think he's just like hoping that one day someone moves there that plays MCP and he can play?
I'm sure there's plenty of tourists that play, right? Oh. They bring their models.
They just bring, Oh.
Maybe he just has models for everybody.
That's what I'll choose to believe.
I like to picture my Hawaiian listener as a little 8-pound, 3-ounce,
8-pound, 3-ounce tuxedo t-shirt.
I like to picture my listener as sitting back on a patio in Guernsey looking out over the Atlantic.
I'm going to be honest. I'm very envious of all these people that live on beaches.
Well, this beach is not very fun to
Yeah.
swim in or participate with.
If you've never been to Kansas, largest body of water we have is not very impressive. You can like throw a baseball across it.
It's probably a water treatment plant.
Yeah. It very well might be, actually. I'm actually curious now. What largest body of water in Kansas?
I can already tell this episode's going to be riveting.
This is going to be a banger.
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah, I've got some good Europe trivia for you. In soccer.
Hold on, wait,
Oh,
real quick. I'm going to do mine.
Okay.
Milford Lake, which is
it's a lake in Kansas.
15,700 acres. That's actually pretty big, right?
Yeah.
Question mark? That actually is pretty big. Okay.
Yeah.
That's bigger than I expected.
But
All
it's
right, Parker.
also a reservoir, so it's like really long. It's not like
it's a fake lake.
Yeah, it's not like, and also
Damn
it like all those reservoir lakes in central and western Kansas, they're all like very windy. It's not like you can see that
because
much
they're just
water.
filling up like hill.
Yeah, filling
hill
up
areas.
valleys. Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's my little European trivia. In soccer, when Sweden plays against Denmark, the scoreboard would display Sweden. It's the first three letters of Swede, the last first three letters of Den. The unused letters remaining are then Denmark. So when Sweden plays Denmark, the first three letters make Sweden.
Oh my god, that is amazing!
Isn't that weird?
I was not impressed with the Sweden part. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, that's cute. And then you said Denmark. I was like, okay, hold on. I'm all in.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love that. That is awesome.
That is neat.
That's like cat spelled backward is still cats. It's not, but there are words like that.
Yeah.
Race car, you mean?
I'm going to point out, for anyone who thinks I'm drunk, I just opened my first beer. This has just been a long day. All right, Parker, do you got any more? Or that was your only trivia?
That was my only trivia. I just found that and I was like, that is delightful.
All right, so Parker, I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but it's kind of in your industry. For people who don't know, Parker is involved in science.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically a science buff.
I try.
Parker, can you tell me, have you ever heard of Murphy's Law?
Yes.
Do you know what it is? Can you tell the audience?
It applies to basically the idea is if you have a certain subset of options, if any of them have a possibility for incorrect or a misleading solution, it kind of will go. The short version of it, if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. But like the actual Murphy's Law, he was talking about like the probability of an error in a well-meaning study, basically.
Okay. So I found a very interesting, different interpretation, which is, have you ever heard of Cole's Law?
No.
You want to know what it is?
No, sure.
Oh my god.
It's thinly sliced
I
cabbage.
just heard it. As soon as you said it, as soon as I heard, I was like, coleslaw,
Jeremy got there before Parker. I got
Oh
him so deep in it, he was actually trying to think, what is Cole's Law?
First thing I thought was Cole's Law, and for some reason I went straight to like Cole's the department store. I was like, I don't know why, because I mean, it's just a person's name. But I was like, Cole's Law, I've never heard of that. Because it wouldn't be his first name.
I've never heard of him.
Cole.
Shout out to our Tennessee listeners.
Yeah, coleslaw.
That was good.
Yep.
I like that one. I was so worried that you were going to get it in advance.
Yeah.
and then just refused to talk.
Yeah, I got it a half second before you were able to get it out. So we
You got it as soon as I smiled, and you were like, shit.
Damn it.
He got me.
So, do we have a main topic yet, or are we just swinging this? Swinging for the fences?
We'll do the Merc thing. That's good with me.
Okay.
I think we could do it.
Okay. Let me pull up every model in the game now.
I have MCPDB open at all times when we're podcasting.
Yeah, me too. I just forgot to do it yet. But I also always have the affiliation page open, and I need to do that too.
Yeah. I also have AMG always open.
I know Jeremy always has both of those things open too.
Yeah, Jeremy has Dark Souls and wrestling open at all times when we're podcasting.
Yeah.
Jeremy, turn off the wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you still watching wrestling just with it muted? No.
Nah.
Okay.
Are you gonna drink 24 beers?
I mean, these 12 are for me, and the other 12 are for Mac. But like Mac's not here. Yeah, but I should save them for Mac. Can I have some of yours? No, these are for me. You're gonna drink all 12 beers? Yeah.
So how many have I had so far?
I've had 5.
You're not even in this.
I've had 5.
I've had 5.
Only an idiot shows up to a bar sober.
My favorite part of that is how after he decides he's had 5, his face like, all right, yeah.
He's very excited.
He's very satisfied.
I could not believe where that scene ends. Like, it
gosh.
goes so far off the rails.
Yep.
Oh, boy. That was almost as good as when they sewed Frank into the couch. That was like two of the highest physical comedies they've ever had on the show was that and The Couch.
Mm-hmm.
The Couch is one of my favorites, for sure.
The Couch is unbelievably hilarious. Like, if you just, like, start watching the show and then, like, halfway through the episode, you're like, what is happening? Is this real? Like,
and just
can't handle it.
He's so sweaty and naked. Oh.
It's too hot. His leather couch
it's
doesn't
too
breathe.
Hot. His face
I couldn't tell when he was, like, more shiny, if it was in that moment, or when he covered himself in hand sanitizer.
Oh my god.
All right, are you guys ready to go?
Yes, do it.
All
right, let me get a timestamp. It's coming. The news is coming.
News.
Oh my god.
That was a pretty good one. I think that was fun.
It was good. Okay, I want to say this one thing about Doctor Strange, and I am literally about to fall asleep as I'm talking.
But like, what do you mean?
I am seriously.
Like, you're literally gonna fall asleep.
Like my eyes right now, like my brain is screaming.
You're like the James Franco of opening your eyes.
Yes. Oh my gosh, my eyes are they so badly want to close. My brain is just it's just metal on metal right now. My eyelids in my head.
It's like a sheet metal factory accident.
Yeah, it's terrible. But I did want to say this. I had this weird.
All right, wait, hold on. Okay. Disclaimer.
Oh,
we're gonna talk spoilers for the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness movie. We're not gonna talk about anything else. If you don't want spoilers, turn off the podcast right now.
Yeah.
Goodbye. Thank you for hanging out.
Love you.
All right. Talk about your shit.
Okay, so I saw a clip from an earlier from Infinity War. I saw a clip from Infinity War. It's where Scarlet Witch is defending the Vision in the subway scene, and the subway comes by, and Cap shows up and saves him. And I love that scene so much.
Yeah.
And when Scarlet Witch was in that scene, the first thing I thought was, man, I don't like that she was a bad guy. Like, this was my first instinct. And I watched that whole Doctor Strange movie being totally fine with Scarlet Witch being the bad guy. But as I was watching this new stuff, and I thought about it, I was like, man, as I watch those older movies, I don't know if I'm going to be able to appreciate the way they finished her character, because I liked how they started her character, and I liked everything about her arc. I liked everything about her arc in WandaVision. I don't like that she went straight Darth Vader.
I completely agree. During watching the movie, I was not super okay with her being the bad guy. Like, I was like,
oh, really?
This does not... I'm not happy about this. Because, like, basically after the attack on Carmitage, which is very early in the movie, like, first 20 minutes.
Yeah, really fast.
There's no coming back from this. She killed, like, 100 people. Like, in canon universe. Like, no, she's a bad guy now. Like, never coming back. And so there's no, like, Westville, like, I put it right in the end. Like, no, people died. Like, you intentionally murdered people for your own gain.
Couldn't be say, though, that the book caused all that?
Yeah, like, you could, because she had the Darkhold for an indeterminate amount of time, which seemed like at least 6 months to me. I don't know how long they intended it to be, but there's no, like, calendar for the MCU. But after the WandaVision was the first show, then we had Cap Falcon, we had Hawkeye, we had, wasn't there another one? Loki. So there was like those big three. Although I think Loki was supposed to be happening chronologically simultaneously to WandaVision, because there's that scene where Kang, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Kang is doing the like leaning back, realizing what's happening, and it syncs up perfectly with the last episode of WandaVision.
Right.
So there's that. So I think Loki happened at the same time. If Loki happened at the same time, then we don't know how much time has passed, because if things are happening concurrently, we don't really have a timeline. But the fact that Doctor Strange knew that Westville happened and it was clearly in the past, you would imagine it was more than just a couple weeks. Or at least I did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, she had the Darkhold, which is supposed to be like one of the most corruptive forces in the entire universe, for a reasonable amount of time while grieving. That's obviously not great. And clearly she was not like mentally well after Endgame. So
Yeah,
That's
I
what
don't.
I'll
'cause
chalk
she-
it up to. I'm all right with that.
she didn't even have the Darkhold until after WandaVision, right? Because she gets it from the girl.
It was right at the end of WandaVision. Yeah,
She gets the Darkhold at the end of it. She
Yeah.
didn't have it before, right?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
got.
So-
Yeah, she got it from.
she learned she was the Scarlet Witch at the end.
Yeah, so she didn't even have the Darkhold, and she had already created the Hex, so she clearly wasn't in a good place. And so once you add the super corruptive force and like, I don't know if you want to call it lowering of inhibitions, but like it makes you, the way they sell it is that it makes you not worry about the consequences of your actions, basically. Like it helps you justify things because it's corruptive.
Mhm.
And then you add that to the fact that she was already grieving for Vision, resurrected him, he died again, and then she got introduced to her children, and then they're ripped away from her. Like, that clearly would not go over well with someone who's already in not a healthy mental state.
Mhm.
So, like, I get it. I just was sad, because as soon as the attack on Carmitage happened, I was like, okay, well, she's basically out of the MCU now, so. But that's just because, like, I know that villains don't live through movies, so.
Right. And I get that she was kind of a villain in the House of M stuff, but she was really just obviously a very troubled person. Like she was basically going insane.
Yeah.
And so
She's been a villain in much the same way that Magneto was a villain. Like,
Right.
yeah, he's an extremist that's doing things for his own gain, but like we understand too.
But well, Magneto was like Magneto was right? There was a
Yeah.
definite way to.
Yeah,
like,
Scarlet Witch has
see
never really
it for
been
you.
malicious. Like she's
No.
been a bad guy, like a villain, but like and even in this movie, she wasn't malicious. Like she wasn't just out to hurt people. But she definitely was not concerned with other people's. She had zero empathy.
Right, and everything in her way was just water.
Yeah.
She just drank it. So it was. It's not that I can't believe what they did, or
Yeah.
that they don't have a
It didn't
reasonable
sit well?
explanation. Yeah, I had this immediate feeling of, oh man, like I didn't want her.
I think you're
for that.
supposed to though. Like
Yeah.
I think that's supposed to be how it lands.
Right, I'm not mad that they chose to
I
do
did
it. I
appreciate
just didn't like it.
that in the fucking trailers, at least the one trailer I saw, they did not show her being the bad guy.
No, they did a really
That
good job
was-
avoiding that.
I was
Yes.
so infuriated when the No Way Home trailer came out, and then like the first scene of the trailer is Doc Ock. I'm like, fuck off! Like, come on! Like that would have been such an amazing, like the Illuminati reveal during No Way Home when it's like, oh my god, Doc Ock's here and Lizard's here, and like all the like that could have been so cool to discover in the theater. But no, instead I go in and I'm like, oh, when's Doc Ock gonna show up? Like it was just took it out for me.
Mhm.
It's like if they put the Iron Man snap in the trailer. Like that would have been so ridiculous. Like in fact they did the opposite when they did the trailers for Endgame and Infinity War. They photoshopped the gauntlet in every scene to be different, so you couldn't actually tell what order he gets the stones in to prevent spoilers. Did you know that?
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate when they go out of their way to not give stuff away.
My favorite one example of that is in the Civil War, Captain America: Civil War. There's a famous moment in the trailer that actually shows the final moments of the movie where he says, Captain America and Iron Man are talking. He's like, "I was your best friend," and he goes, "I know." And they're like, and one of them standing over the other. And then in the actual movie, the person who said the lines and their positions were totally reversed,
Mhm.
so you couldn't tell who was winning the fight.
Yeah,
They shot two completely different scenes with different CGI and everything
just for the trailer.
just
Yeah.
for the trailer. I'm just because it would made it more difficult to anticipate how the movie was going to end.
Mm-hmm. I feel like No Way Home was the only one that they dropped the ball on that on, which is technically not an MCU movie. It's in association with Marvel.
Mhm.
So maybe that's why, because Sony did the trailer and
Yeah.
they didn't give a shit about spoilers.
Yes, I think the MCU, the traditional MCU, does they go through a huge amount of backward flips to make sure the trailer subverts
Mhm.
expectations rather than
Exactly.
provides expectations.
I definitely felt that because I was like, yeah, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange teaming up in the what's happening?
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
yeah, I was very sad. All right,
right.
well, we should probably get out of here.
Yeah, bye.
I would like to keep chatting, but I'm sure you guys want to go.
I wanna be able to
We started pretty late.
I want to be able to chat tomorrow, actually, because I'm really excited to chat tomorrow because I really want to try this Cabal list. So I'm gonna come play and chat
All right. Goodbye, everybody.
later.
Later.